welcome back everyone. This is Akanar here with more blueprints, and I am so ready to get day 22 underway. Let's get it going. Day 21, as per usual. I almost every single draft we have is just so incredibly gosh dang fun. There's only been a couple drafts where, we had the hovel draft, the first hovel draft with the security door bottleneck, and then we also had the chamber of mirrors, are the couple examples that I can think of where our draft just kind of it had one opening that needed to be crossed through, that we needed to access, and then we weren't able to, and so the draft just did not get off the ground. So other than that, every draft pretty much is just so much fun, and today hopefully will be no exception to that, because last time for sure was no exception, because we got our second trophy. That full house trophy has been obtained. We actually managed to, with the help of a very, very fancy compass, we managed to, the ornate compass, we managed to get all 45 rooms filled up. It was so much fun, and now we've got that checked off the list. And we also managed to pick up a couple other cool things from the showroom, one of which was a necklace, I believe, that gives us a couple items to start the day. What will those items be? Drum roll. Da 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 da. We get the ornate compass again. Okay. Wait a second. I'm discovering something else here now for the very first time. Oh my god. This is just where the foundation is going to be now. They said it. It says it on the floor plan. Does not reset each day. Oh. Like, the room doesn't actually go away. Wow. I would have never guessed that would happen. This thing is going to be in the same frickin' place every day for the rest of time. Obviously, one of my first questions would be, would this appear in the same place on everybody's save file? Don't tell me. I'll find that out eventually when I go to play a fresh file. Wow. So we've got a foundation at room 5-2 now. And, okay, but we know now, we learned an important lesson last time, that in order to access the foundation's switch, or the elevator switch, I believe, we do need a room not just below the foundation, but with a door that goes to the back of the foundation. So we're going to try to do that today. That's going to be our objective, and it should be a lot easier if we have an ornate compass on hand. Well, I was like, the ornate compass would probably be the last item that I would want to have out of the others, because we still have just so much to do with things like the regular compass, although I think we traded that in, didn't we? I don't remember what we had on hand, but I was thinking it would be really cool, obviously, if we could keep the necklace that lets us carry over the items to the next day and just kind of re-roll it once again. I don't think there was any stipulation that said it wasn't in the pool of items that could be considered. Okay, now, let me get my thought process on track here. We are going to draft the outer room first, like we normally do, but we're going to check something else, because I had a realization. I see some white trees over here. I had realized, as I was going through my notes recently, we had the special members video where I was going over all my notes, and I remembered one of the things that we learned quite some time ago now was this this coded message that was within the sheets of music. And it said, I do need to pull it up here, actually, find my notes and remind myself what the actual wording was. We had the bold words that were on the 8 music sheets that were spread out through all the various rooms that said, first words on the sheets are true message. And then we checked those first words on the music sheets, and they said, find among the white trees under 2 stones. And I, for the longest time, I've been thinking about it here and there, and everywhere we go pretty much in the grounds or around the estate, trees kind of look like this. And I've just been thinking of here and there, I'm like, where are these white trees going to be? It feels like we're going to have to like travel, I've been getting this idea planted in my head that we're going to eventually travel off the estate to some other part of the world And I thought, well, maybe it's a clue for somewhere outside of where we're allowed to go right now. Maybe not so fast, because there are, in fact, white trees over here behind the campsite. And I was reminded, there are 2 stones here as well. I was reminded of this when I was skimming through my footage. I always, whenever I render a video before uploading it, I just do a quick skim through just to see if there's any, you know, crazy stuff that's happened where the video's mucked up or something. And I saw, as I was skimming through, white trees as we were going over here to the apple orchard. My cat, well, not cat laser brain in this case, my laser focus brain that was focused on opening the apple orchard did, you know, completely disregarded the white trees over here. Only upon skimming through again did I see there are some stones here. My next thought was, what if we need a shovel? I also, as I was thinking about this clue, find among the white trees under 2 stones. Under 2 stones, unless we can interact with one of these stones, perhaps after standing still for a brief moment, like in the cloister. It doesn't look like that's the case, which means we probably need a shovel. So this feels like the spot, though. There are no other real obvious... This is 2 stones surrounded by white trees. So this has to be the spot, and I think we need a shovel. Okay, so we spent a couple extra steps, but it's no big deal when you're starting every day with 70. And so we know now, we've gathered the important intel to guide us back here if and when we get our hands on a shovel. So let's do that. We will have that in... We'll have that in mind as part of our game plan, our ongoing list of things that we need to do. We need a magnifying glass to look at things. We need a compass to make contraptions like the electromagnet. But we also know that we need a compass, not a compass, but we need a magnifying glass in order to make a contraption as well. We read the Drafting Strategy Volume 4 last time, which gave us some amazing intel, which apparently we're going to be able to get our hands on some matches or something to light shit up. But we also have, we now know, it's hilarious that we can actually, we can rotate the floor plans, guys, with the ornate compass. Oh my God. What if that actually did something like with the tomb or something like that? These floor plans cannot currently, why does it say cannot currently be rotated? I think it just means that it's like they're in a certain spot in the house, which like if you were up against a wall or something, you couldn't rotate elbows certain ways. Anyway, cat laser brain in that case, what I was saying was we do need a magnifying glass now for a contraption as well. So I think I forgot, one of the things I forgot to do on day 21 was do a special order for a magnifying glass. We'll do that today, hopefully, if I remember. What are we going to draft here in the outer room? I think schoolhouse versus shrine versus tool shed. These are all interesting options, especially when we know we need a shovel. A tool shed is in contention to start out with some extra items. I do like the idea of getting a shrine. We haven't had a shrine for a little while, and having a gold sink right off the bat is good. And also, you know, the ability to have a shrine buff that is going to last several days. Like you've got the value of the shrine while you are drafting other rooms like the schoolhouse and the tool shed on other days. We do want to draft the schoolhouse again because we need to do a full schoolhouse run. We need to get all of these classrooms because apparently you can get not just 8. There's a 9th classroom that I guess we add from the drafting studio. We need to get the drafting studio again. We haven't had it in a long time. So my instinct here is the shrine, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm not going to deliberate on it too long. I'm not going to overthink it too badly here. I will go with the shrine so we can hopefully re-enable that buff to get us going for the next few days. So we'll have that as our, you know, I don't know what the limit might be on how much you could donate. We've gotten some crazy gold amounts recently. And, you know, if we did get our hands on the vault, which seems to be pretty common for us, then we might want to hold on to all that gold to try to get some sort of like a, who knows, maybe we can extend the buff to like 10 days or some crazy number. I suspect it's like in increments of 10 is how the shrine buff gets extended. So every 10 additional gold that you donate is like an additional day. That's my guess. Don't tell me for sure. All right, let's start mid again so we get rank 2 opened up here and see what our options are. Probably going to be a hallway here, although the closet and the 2 items is always a nice thing to get those dice or try to get a die. But of course, if you're going for dice, then you would take the Geist bedroom. So, but I also just like opening things up, right? And we need keys. We do not have any keys to start today, even though I thought we had finished last... I must have been the draft before that we had those tomorrow rooms. We had a couple tomorrow rooms at the end of last draft. I don't remember exactly what they were. One of them was the coat check. And I thought we had drafted a sauna, but apparently not. In any case, we will take the hallway here. And then I think we will... I feel like we might have done this last time where we had the hallway pointed like this. But these drafts do run together. You start... We're on day 22 now. We've done a number of drafts, and there's some of them that are just going to have some similarities. Let's draft east. Do we draft east? I think so. We still want to fill out our base. We're trying to get to the foundation, but we don't have to go there as soon as possible. The real nice thing, I should have thought a little bit more maybe about the ornate compass. I just, I'm so used to not having this item. We could have thought about drafting the hallway a little bit differently, but I think this is fine. I do want a door that points into rank 3 at least. So, but we have that ornate compass to guide us here as we go, which is nice. Even though we don't have to fill up all 45 rooms, it still is probably not a bad idea if you can help it, because you still want to explore as much as possible. All right, let me stop talking and just do more drafting. How about we do that? We could start with a courtyard here, and that gets us a shot at a shovel, which I like. And now the cool thing here about the reading nook would be, this would also get us an additional gem. So we would be up to our 3 gem and a 3 gem count, which previously in my mind had been enough to afford any room in the house. However, we have now seen the trophy room. Oh boy. Something tells me that the trophy room might only be draftable at some very high ranks. However, wherever you draft it, you're going to need gems. 5 gems to draft the goddamn trophy room. So yeah, I suspect the rotation would also not work in this case, right? Yeah, this is also in a situation because we're against the wall. So we just take the courtyard here, though, because the nook in this case, I think we had this here yesterday, but then when we drafted out of the reading nook, the library pointed into the back of the hallway or whatever room that was above the entrance hall. We don't have to worry about that today. The ornate compass from the get-go, that is a very nice item. And not a bad one to coat check, but at the same time, the coat check doesn't show up as much as you'd like it to, like the mailroom would if there's a package delivered. We're gonna take the courtyard, though, I think. It's just because it gets us a chance at a shovel. But also, I don't know. Is it better to wait until you have... No, we get the courtyard here. We're not going to wait until we have a veranda to pick up a courtyard. Let's do it. Let's take the courtyard. We'll get a chance at the reading nook somewhere else in a spot where we can actually rotate it. Now, that is a sledgehammer that I see. And, of course, there's the 2 gems there. So no shovel, probably. I don't think the courtyard gives us 2 items. So do we continue through the courtyard and then come back to the entrance hall? Probably. But we could also just draft the entrance hall and see what's there. See, now we can put a dead end at the entrance hall left if we want to, because the rooms out of the hallway, we have those 2 doors out of the hallway, and the compass is going to be able to point things really nicely for us. This gives your draft so much more flexibility. This is awesome. Let's see what we get out of the other side of the entrance hall before we draft, or before we decide where we're leaving the entrance hall from. Let's do this room as well. And we could just take the reading nook here. Now, ideally, it would point... maybe I'll take the corridor, because then it will point to a different direction from where that hallway door is. But I also know that if I take the reading nook here, I can just point the library to the left no matter what. And I kind of like that. Getting us a library over on that... The library pointing to the west wing there, there could be a strong chance that we would get her ladyship's chamber. And I might just take it. There is certainly a lot of overthinking that you could do in where you would want your library to end up, right? Because there's a part of me that wants our library to give us the master bedroom, but we would need to have that on the east wing in order to do that. So, but we should not strain too hard when it comes to trying to make that happen. The other option is you could just take the Geist bedroom. You could just take it and you say, I'm going to draft out of the hallway, and that's going to give me whatever room I need to get me to the West Wing. So the Geist bedroom is probably a choice between that and the reading nook. And we can leave the corridor to get some value when it's at the higher ranks. I'm not going to stress too much more about it. Let's just take the reading nook, and that will... Pointing the library over to the left-hand side is fine, because it could also get us the bookshop, right? We do want to get back to the bookshop, and that would be an okay thing to have the bookshop where it like angles down into the bottom left corner or something. Given that we have the ornate compass that can point things wherever we want them. All right. Sledgehammer. Just need some trunks. Just need some swim trunks, perhaps? I believe we're going to be able to open those swim trunks now whenever they show up. Because that pool is drained, is it not? Hopefully I remembered things correctly. Hopefully I'm remembering things correctly. This would be so annoying if we didn't have the ability to rotate floor plans. But we do. So it's not. All right, so what do we want here? Pantry versus... Probably pantry versus observatory. Don't think we have to draft a spare bedroom here, given that the hallway already points to rank 3. I don't actually remember how many stars we have. And this is one thing I wish I could see how many stars I have here, because I don't know for sure if I have 13, but I can probably look at my, I can probably be reminded by looking at what the observatory gives us, and that will jog my memory. I think we got the Southern Cross and Clavis's key last time, so I think we're going to 14 stars, which is the Slice, Diamondus Minor, and Farmer's Apple. So apples are more delicious. We get one additional gem to get to make up for the gem we spend on the observatory, and then the Slice gets us some extra steps. We also do have a shrine that eventually we want to put a lot of coins into, so we may just take the pantry. It's not the most thrilling observatory. I think I'm okay taking the pantry here and guaranteeing the extra gold. So let's do that. And then I think, where do we draft from? We draft from the courtyard here, and we just try to get like a dead end, because then we can get an elbow from the pantry that points us up into the rest of rank, up the east wing. So let's take the pantry and draft here. Storeroom versus closet versus parlor. I think this is a storeroom, but we do want to get a shovel. But I also like the fact that we're getting a key as well as coins. The gem is nice as well. I think the storeroom is just too good. It's too good, right? We don't have to have a shovel today, right? The 2 rocks outside are always going to be there. So it's not like whenever we just happen to get a shovel, don't force it. Let the game go with the flow. That's what you got to do. I'm not the best at it because you know, I love to overthink things to death, but I'm doing my best. And this game, regardless of however much I decide to overthink things, is still so much friggin' fun. I love it. We're gonna keep drafting in this direction. Keep on drafting. Keep on picking up these coins. Already at 40 coins. And, oh, that's Salt Shaker. That's right. I was like, I was thinking about making a joke. Oh, I forgot that's what we got. We got the mailroom. We did pick up the mailroom. Okay. I was going to make a joke about how, oh, I should wait for my Salt Shaker to pick up this apple, which I've made that joke how many times. And I already have a Salt Shaker. There you go. Huh. So I think this is actually just a mailroom, isn't it? We take the mailroom here and we get our package. Because maybe that has a compass, although we don't need a compass when we have an ornate compass. The compass just kind of goes out the window in utility. So this mailroom, you know, we've had some dud packages. So I also just am not thrilled, though, about getting the chapel here. Just because, you know, we don't use both of the doors, right? We don't use both of the doors. And when we have an ornate compass, I feel so much better about the fact that as long as I've got some doors, I've got the door out of the hallway, I'm going to be able to angle something that goes to the right, that goes to the east in rank 3. Almost certainly, it would be very unlucky not to be able to. And that's why we have the ornate compass to fix any bad luck. I think this is just a mailroom. Let's get the guaranteed... This guy's bedroom is continuing to show up. But let's get the mailroom here. You can just feel so much nicer about picking up these dead ends when you would normally... It did give us the goddamn brass compass. Oh my god. Where's my trading post when I need it? Fuck. Now, at the same time, I'm a dingus. We need the compass for workshop contraptions, so don't be so hasty. Let's get our hands on a workshop. We're hoping it would be fantastic if we could... what am I trying to say? If we could, it's so easy to get distracted when there's, my brain, that dang cat laser brain just starts thinking about how northward rooms are going to be more common. And oh, did I really want to pick up that compass? Because now I'm going to get more like straight through rooms when I'm drafting northward. Okay, what I was going to say, gosh dang it, what was I going to say? I have no idea at this point. I have no freaking clue. There's a key in the hallway. Let's not forget to pick that up. But we're going to take the key from the nook. And then we're going to draft the hallway. Sorry. We're going to draft the library that goes to the left. Right? Left? Right? I'm being so stupid right now. What is wrong with me? Okay. We got a den as well. But we take the library here. Because the library gets us cool stuff. And we also need to put in another book request. So the library's already facing the way we want it. Perfect. And let's keep it going. We got 6 gems. We can, even if somehow the library gives us the trophy room here, we could afford it. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to take this History of Arindia. I'm really interested, obviously, to see Volume 5 of the drafting strategy. But History of Arindia by Caleb Manning could have some very important information regarding sigils. And if we can put together more information about sigils, that means we can open a door down in the sanctum more confidently, knowing we might be able to solve that sigil puzzle that is almost certainly to reside behind that door. So we'll look forward to that book request when that goes through. We did get offered the bookshop, which does give us another gold sink. Do we want that? We have also a terrace and a laundry room. My instinct here is just to take the bookshop rotated, so we get to draft the last room in rank 1. And also, I might not buy anything right now from the bookshop because we do have the shrine. There might be some tension between where we want to put our coins at the end of the day. So, but I think I take it. I don't think the terrace makes sense because of the way we drafted things here. We're going to only have the door through the hallway leading to the rest of the estate. But that's okay because we do have a ornate compass to make sure that things... Well, regardless, we're going to have almost certainly at least one door going the way we want out of the hallway. And then from there, we'll be able to make things happen. Things will open up to us. The problem... is what? The problem with the terrace is that green rooms are on the wings, and we've made it a little bit more difficult for us to steer to those wings because of the placement of the bookshop and the mailroom if we do things this way. We could point the bookshop upward, like maybe I'm stressing too much about the room that is that's down there to the left, but I still love building a good base, man. We need getting as many keys as possible just feels so freaking good. So I think I'm going to do that, and we're not going to steer yet into a green draft. It could still happen here, depending on how things go. But let's take the bookshop, and then let's draft that last room through here. The other book, though, that makes sense from the sigils, solving the history of the sigils. This History of Arindia is also very, very tempting to me. But like I said, we have the shrine that might compete with some of these. We want to read all of them, of course. Realm and Rune as well. That could be something, maybe what we would settle for. We might end up getting like the Realm and Rune, and the rest of the coins go to the shrine. We'll see how it goes. But this one also should be very interesting toward those, getting all those sigils in place. Let's draft this last room, though. Oh, there's a solarium. Okay. That is a solarium. And this could have a shovel, as well as some fruit to get us some steps. And then it makes more unusual and rare rooms. Makes them more likely while drafting. That sounds fun to me. I think that's what we do here. Let's take the solarium, and now maybe it does become a green room draft. There's always the ordering with green rooms. Like if you take the solarium here, like you're not getting the benefit from the veranda and the terrace and these other things, but I think that makes sense compared to the closet. Even though the closet would be a little more likely to give us a die, but I feel like dice are much more, it's much easier to come by dice when you have something like a Geist bedroom out there. Let's take the solarium. And no fruit this time. Maybe it's been, the fruit has been here as a result of us drafting. Wow, we didn't, it's just the dig site. There's no extra item here. We must have been drafting the solarium previously when we did have stuff like the veranda in effect. So that does make a big difference. We'll get the benefit from unusual and rare rooms being more common, but we don't get our other items to synergize with things. I don't think there's anything to check. We're not going to check the archives stuff in the library this time. Let's just keep our draft going through the hallway, because obviously there's nowhere else to draft. There's only one room, so now we kind of need maybe a passageway, but I'll settle for a three-way room. The game is always so funny about doing these things. It's like, oh, you asked for a three-way room. Here, let me give you the dark room or the gymnasium. God damn it. Gosh, this is such a bad place to put a gymnasium. This is not good. This is not good. But do I want to take, maybe I just take the spare bedroom here, and then I try to get another three-way room that opens things up the way that I want it. Because I am a little bit conscious about steps, because we at least want to make it back to the shrine. The office is, you know, it is a room that I want. I do want to be able to spread gold when we have a shrine and a bookshop. And there's a safe in there that I have not yet tried. We've only done the boudoir so far. Trying our spitball, seeing what'll stick in terms of these random dates that I've picked out from my notes. We haven't tried that in the office. I forgot to do that last time. But it would spend 2 gems. And I'm even starting with 70 steps like we do, I'm just getting a little bit conscious about, you know, having to go back around. We've only got a few rooms anyways that we're spreading gold to. So it's not like we're even getting a ton of gold. Now, I do have to remember the office does have a terminal. So we would be able to access either security or the laboratory. We would probably access the laboratory. And maybe that's what we should do. Get a laboratory experiment online ASAP. I think I'm actually going to do that. I was worried about the spending the gems like this early and only going down to 2 gems. But I think I'm going to go ahead and take the office because of the fact that it spreads gold. Like it's still good even with just a few rooms here. And it also has that terminal and it has the safe. It's got various reasons for us to want to draft it. And I think we'll point it to the left because that makes it a little bit, we're just closer to getting to the foundation. I'm thinking about the implications of the foundation elevator being online and the fact that basically, if that's true, if it does not reset each day, and if the elevator goes where I think it goes, the fact that it goes down to the basement, you could, it wouldn't be a very smart idea, because probably the doors out of the foundation, there's a high chance they're locked. But if you wanted, you could go all the way around down to the basement and ride the elevator up into the foundation to start your day. That's what I'm wondering, if this is going to let us do that. but maybe you need a key card to access the elevator. It doesn't reset each day. It might just be, an elevator that is in the same place. So if you left it down in the basement and ended your day, then you would have it there to start the next. I'm overthinking something that probably doesn't really matter, but it's a cool extra little possibility that it's like, oh, if I somehow dead-ended myself here, like if the office, we didn't have the compass and the office only gives us rooms that end up dead-ending us and our draft would otherwise be done, well, now you could maybe go out and ride the foundation elevator up and start your draft from there, or keep it going. So that's a cool thing to think about. But we got to get it online. So let's start with the office, point it in this direction. I'm thinking too far ahead, like I always do. But there's nowhere to go but into the office. The first thing we'll do is we will do a laboratory experiment. I think I want to do that as opposed to the security doors. We have 3 keys already. If we do run into security doors, then this one's not a security door. We wouldn't want a security door to run into the back of the foundation. That would be a bit unfortunate. But I also just love experiments. The experiments are too dang fun. So we're going to take our chances with those security doors and do a login to the network. Oh, we also need to do a special order for a magnifying glass. So let's do both of those things. Get onto the network. And remember that we're in the 90s, so logging into a network remotely takes forever with your 9600 baud or 56k baud or whatever those measurements were back in those days. It's almost like you're talking about ancient hieroglyphics now when you talk about modem speeds from the 90s. But let's do that remote. We'll do the remote in a moment. Let's do staff services first and do special orders for a magnifying glass. Maybe at some point we'll start ordering a compass, but we already have a compass today. Not that helps us when we get the special order, but we know we need the magnifying glass. We need both of them, and I think the magnifying glass is the higher priority. So for now, we're going to basically always do a special order for a magnifying glass. That seems good to me. Do I have to log out? Am I not allowed to go? Oh, remote terminal access. That's what I want to do. Okay, I thought I was on the wrong menu. I'm at the right spot. I just need to go to the right button and click remote terminal access and then laboratory. That's the one. I want it. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Who knows how this will go? We might only have like a couple more doors to draft if we get really unlucky, but that's always the risk you're running with a draft. So try to have fun and trust that the game will let you. Okay, the effects. I always like to read those first. Add a small chest to the entrance hall. Ooh. Very tempting when we have a sledgehammer. Also, gain 3 gold for each red room in your house. Oh, all right. Also tempting when we have the gold sinks that we do. Spread dirt on the driveway. I'm guessing this must give you dig sites. I don't think that's what we want to do here because we don't even have a shovel yet. So it's probably between the first 2 effects. What are the causes? While drafting, if you draw a drawing room floor plan. Okay, we had that last time, and we learned how that worked. The fact that it doesn't count on redraws. So it's only if you initially draw a drawing room floor plan, which does happen, but it also did not happen nearly as often as I was hoping it would. We also have immediately, which we could just get as a one-time effect and be done with it. And then we have the next 3 times you open a locked trunk. The next 3 times that you open a locked trunk. So you have to get 3 trunks to proc this once. That doesn't seem very likely at all. So it's probably just, do we want the immediate effect? And I guess we don't have any red rooms, so it would not do us anything to do this immediately. We could immediately give ourselves a small chest, which we do have a sledgehammer for, and we're pretty close to the entrance hall. Or we could take our chances and maybe try to get a bunch of gold, depending on how many red rooms we draft. But we also don't have any of those at the moment. We would need to steer ourselves into a red room draft. Like, it could be pretty cool if you could somehow chain together you know, things like the swim trunks. When you do have the swim trunks to open, and you know, if you could chain together that the next 3 times you open a lock trunk along with the small chest in the entrance hall, that could be a really, you know, it's 3 trunks though. So getting that synergy rolling is still pretty difficult. Trunks are just not that common. Unless you do things like the veranda and a green room draft, or getting, you know, really lucky with your bedrooms. I think I'm going to go with this while drafting. If you draw a drawing room floor plan, add a small chest to the entrance hall. We could, you know, get the immediate benefit of it, but we're not, you know, we're not starved for resources right now. We don't need the immediate guarantee of, like, you know, some keys or gems. We have a few of those. And I think this drawing room, hopefully this this drawing room effect, or cause, I should say, will proc at least a couple times, right? And that should get us some valuable. We should get more than 1 chest out of this. Now, we would eventually need to go back to the entrance hall, right? So there's the steps consideration, which hopefully is not going to be that big a deal because we haven't gotten any of our steps enablers yet offered to us in the draft. So hopefully this will be able to get a good amount of value out of this experiment. Some experiments have been much more beneficial than others. We'll see how this one goes. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take the time to try out some safe codes, but given my experience with the Bourgeois, I don't have high hopes for this. Like, there's uncertainty as to the fact that, you know, I have so many dates that just don't really feel like they're actually codes. But also, do I need to include the year with these dates? We didn't do that with the Apple Orchard code, so I'm just presuming that it's also a 4-digit code like the Apple Orchard, just to keep things simple in my mind. But there's that possibility that I'm not even, like, putting in the code correctly or including the right amount of digits. But we'll start by going through the archives dates. August 22nd, 08/22. See if the archives dates have any impact here. January 27th. I have not been hitting clear. Like, maybe I should hit clear at the end of each one just to be sure. But I'm assuming, but we all know what happens when you assume. I would think that when you hit enter, that has the same effect as clear. But maybe not. So I'll try it here just to be safe. November 11th is one that just doesn't feel like that would be a code. Why would you make a safe code 11111? That's 5 digits, but regardless, you know what I'm trying to say. November 17th is another date from the archives. I just noticed that with this newspaper article, Marigold Drops Publisher, it does not have a year. It's just November 17th. So that does add some credence to the idea that while some of these do have years, others don't. And so don't worry about the year. Just worry about the day. There is a February 22nd. And then maybe the one I should be trying most importantly or most frequently is September 2nd, which is the Royal Crown heist date. If there were one that you would think might have an effect, I'm just going to try this again. September 2nd, right? And we're also presuming that the date goes, or the month goes first in the date. But no effect with that. None of those worked. None of those worked, and the disappointment of, once again, not getting any of these codes so far to work and realizing that I may not have this right. I may not understand exactly what I'm supposed to be using. The 2 Gardener's logbook dates, like, that just, these, now we're on the ones that just feel like complete stretches. And then last, I guess, we'll try the years of publication from some of the books, but those also don't really make any sense. It's like, what dates would make... What are the dates that would... Is there a date that's in this room somehow that... Or... There is email that we're supposed to access from the office, isn't there? Maybe... What if one of the email dates... Could that be a thing? Could that be a thing? Let's log back into the network with our amazingly fast for, what year is it supposed to be? Are we in, is this 1993? I don't remember exactly what year it is, but, speedy as hell. The state of the art for that time is what we have here in the office. But the emails, we could try one of these, right? Like that would make more sense if you're thinking about what actually opens something in the safe in the office is one of the dates from the emails that you can get in the office. Maybe? This one is not listed unless you actually go to it here, but we have October 7th. So we have October 7th, October 8th, October 5th, 7th, and 8th, and then November 1st. 5th, 7th, 8th, 1st. 5th, 7th, 8th, 1st. Let's try those. October 5th, 7th, and 8th. October 5th. Nope. October 7th. No. October 8th. This is not going to work either. These are not going to work either, God damn it. November 1st. Did I try this already? God damn it. I don't... This safe thing, it was so fun to discover the message that was hidden, or the message that has been distributed throughout the floor plans. 8 dates, 8 safes. What are the frickin' dates? That's the problem I'm having now, is I don't know what the dates are. And maybe it's staring me right in the face. Maybe there's a piece of information that I have, or I've come across at some point. Here's that Cinca selfie cam. There's no other information that's just lying around in the office, right? Unless, are we supposed to like decode this message to make it a date? Is there a date in this message? March of the count? March of the count. March is a month. What's the day though? I feel like I'm going down a path of overthinking here. Okay, another thought that has come to mind. Well, I mean, there's a bust that's above the safe. There is a bust here. There is a bust. Is the date related to the bust and the person who's on the bust? We know that there is... The foyer... Okay, let me check my notes for the foyer. I'm having an idea here on the fly that is occurring to me as I am thinking about things. Let me look at the foyer notes again here. The foyer has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 busts. It's only 6. And there are no dates listed in the busts. Only names. Lord William Epson, Baron Thomas Sinclair, Major Nicholas Key IV, J.R. Yenna, Baron Edwin Sinclair, and Count Isaac Gates. So, and I think this is actually, whoops, pressing Alt-Tab here, causing me to go to my blueprint sometimes. I think this is Count Isaac Gates. Count. March of the Count. March of the Count. Like, do we have information somewhere where each of them have a birthday? That was my idea that I was starting to have. But I don't know that we know the birthday of Count Isaac Gates or any of these other people listed in the foyer. And we don't even really know the significance of the date 11/28 that opened the Apple Orchard Gate. And I feel like I'm busting a rhyme here. It could be history of Arindia. There could be these famous people that we're seeing, these busts. Maybe we know, or maybe we will learn about their birthdays in the history books. Or even if we don't learn about their birthdays, maybe some other significant dates. So it could still be that I just don't have the dates that I need to open these safes. And I'm just throwing these random ideas, like newspaper clipping from the archives has a date. Okay, like I could see if the Royal Crown heist, if that opened one of these safes September 2nd, that would make a lot of sense. But the others don't really. And the fact that we've completely struck out with both the office and the boudoir so far makes me think that maybe I need more information. For now, let's shift gears We are not going to spread gold yet until we've at least drafted this room through the office. So let's do that. There's a pool. Okay. And that just procced our experiment, didn't it? The pool counts as a drawing room, drafting room. Why do I always get this mixed up, man? I need to like reread this the drafting strategy, which I'm actually going to do right this second. I got to settle this for my own. Nobody else cares about this but me. I have to answer this question for myself. Drawing room versus drafting room. Volume 2, Craft of the Draft. Architectural Digest Guide to Drafting Rooms. Drafting rooms. Drafting strategy. They are drafting rooms. Drafting rooms. Adding stuff to the draft pool. I mean, this is a pretty clear pool, right? Because we know we get the swim trunks. And it's also, it has the most doors. Obviously, our draft would be over if we didn't draft anything but the pool here. So there's only one choice. It's already pointed the way we want it. But we would have had the ornate compass anyways, which is awesome. So pool it is. And that gives us our trunk, right? It gives us, we have our, did we already get the experiment? So, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. If you draw a drawing room floor plan, no, maybe I still don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Are these drafting rooms? Drawing rooms. I feel so silly right now because am I actually going crazy? Are they both correct? Or is the drawing room actually different from a drafting room? Because why did this experiment not proc just now, even though we got offered the pool? What am I missing? Am I really this out to lunch? Okay. It's probably my brain that's broken and not the game. I think we are, though, going to wait to spread the gold in any case because unusual and rare rooms, more common today because of the solarium. And that means I think we have a better chance of getting a conference room. So let's wait before we spread that office gold. We hope to get some more steps, get ourselves a kitchen and stuff because of a salt shaker. So we should be able to do all the things we want to do at some point when we spread that gold. So let's just continue drafting for now. And we'll get our trunks. I still don't know. Why did it not give me a trunk at the entrance hall? What the heck? Oh, yes, coins are perfect. We do want gems. I would also like, gems to be in the next chest here because we only have one gem at the moment. So that would be nice. Instead, we get a secret garden key. All right, well speaking of steps, there will be fruit spread throughout the house at some point. So now I think we just go ahead and we draft this room that goes up here, right? Is there any room that would cost 2 gems that I would want to get? How much is the showroom? The showroom is actually 2 gems, isn't it? I really need to update my little spreadsheet here that has all my rooms kind of... I have a whole bunch of little icons that I have not added from all these other new rooms. How much is the... Well, I could check it in my room directory, couldn't I? I can actually just check it in game. What am I thinking? It's in the room directory. I can go to showroom here. Showroom is 2 gems. So if we got a straight through room like the showroom, or also the gallery is free. The gallery could be one that's offered here because we have the compass, not the ornate compass. So stuff like spare bedroom, gallery, workshop, these rooms are more likely in this particular instance where we want to get to the foundation. We want to get to the back of the foundation. And so a three-way room or the passageway, there's a lot of examples here of rooms that will get us to that. So maybe I shouldn't stress too much about the fact that I only have 1 gem. But at the same time, we might as well draft the last room here in rank 3, at least the one that we can get to at this moment, because we know it's not going to be locked. So let's just see what we get in this direction first. So we could give ourselves that gem by taking the den, guarantee 1 gem at least, or take the closet, which gets us perhaps a die as well as a gem. But that closes off our options for drafting. And if we do get that straight through room from the pool that we're forced to take, the den would be our only option to keep drafting. through the rest of the house. So, unless, of course, we activate... I don't know exactly how it's going to work when we activate the elevator in the foundation. Are we sending it down, or are we just making it so that you can access it with a key card, actually? I'm going to take the den here. The den could also have a chest. So I will take the guaranteed gem and also grab it, and then we will draft directly from the pool. No trunk, but we get our gem. And now, we just hope not to get absurdly unlucky. Okay, we settle for an aquarium. And we even get to rotate. This ornate compass is so sick. What a great fucking item to have, man. Okay, aquarium it is. And then we see what happens with, hopefully, this points us where hopefully this does what I think it does. I do want a wine cellar. Please come back to me at some point. But in this case, we need the aquarium to guarantee us, I think, access to the foundation backside. We get a key as well. Nice. No security door there. Do security doors show up in the aquarium? Don't tell me. Foundation! I was pretty sure we were gonna get a cutscene. It is sending the elevator down. No, it's not. It's bringing it to the floor level. This game is so freaking amazing. Okay, there it is. And we can no longer interact with this, which is what I figured. It would be a one-time thing that you don't have to muck with anymore, thankfully. So, okay, now that we've got that out of the way, we probably just draft from the aquarium and then just try to point something up to that. We want to get into the foundation and see where that elevator goes. That's what we want to do. And I think we're gonna, yeah. And if we can get a conference room at some point before we spread stuff throughout, spread gold with the office, that's what we're looking for. Oh, dude, that's a gallery. Okay. I will take a gallery here, even though it's not an elbow that gets us directly up to the foundation or closer to the foundation straight away, but it's another gallery. And I need to see, I want to take another stab at the puzzles in the gallery. So let's do that. Take it. These rarer rooms that show up today. Oh, shit. These do not rotate. It is, in fact... It's a guaranteed 2 gems because we solved it already. Whoa. So you only have to solve these once. Okay, well, I'm so curious to see what's in the other chest. If it's 2 more gems, I'm totally fine with that. The only problem is I have to solve these puzzles. I don't know if Fresh Brain is going to have any more luck with either of these two, but let's take a stab at it here. We were really stuck last time in the observation. Well, maybe I wasn't stuck, but one way or the other, the observation that was in my mind was red stuff, apples, fire hydrants, roses, stop signs, wagons, red stuff, crimson. Are we supposed to think of synonyms for red? Crimson, and then this giant P. There's a giant capital P. What does that mean? It's in the sky. They're in the sky. There's clouds. And then really not a lot else. Now, they are mirrored. Is that supposed to be important at all? They are actually... The red items are mirrored. Not the P, though. And not the clouds. It's only the red stuff. But they are actually perfectly mirrored. How does that have... mirrored, inverse? Let's just go through once again the letter options here. B, C, P, T, L, S, M, W. Is there anything that you could... This one I think is all vowels if I remember correctly. A, E, I, O, U, an H, an R, a T. It's not all vowels, but it does include all of the regular vowels at least. Is Y a vowel? I always forget that part. But I know at least 5 of them are. Then we have a V, an L, an R. The V is a bit unusual, as well as the W over here. Less common letters. That's kind of what sparked my ideas last time, was thinking about the less common letters that are in the pool. Maybe I'll just do that here. Just make this a W. Go with all the least common letters. Or at least what I would think of as least common. D, T, H, S, I, K. K. Walk? Is walk supposed to be part of this somehow? I don't see how walk would be involved, but there's a K here. There's also a V. Let's keep the K up there. This also doesn't have an I, but it has A, E, O, N, L, R, C, S, A. C is the least common one there. And then over here we have N, D, G. Might be the least common. Another W, but words ending in W. There's that Y. Could leave Y there. There's only so many letters that would make sense as the end. But I guess you've got a few of those options here. P with red items in the sky. Flying, but they're also reversed, mirrored, inverted. I also just double checked to remind myself that we've got the big capital P, and the only P that shows up is in the first letter slot. It does feel like it would be... It feels like it would be in the word, wouldn't it? Or maybe even starting the word. But the question is what? Okay. Parked just came to mind because the K is here and the A is here. And I think there's an R in this slot. Did we try to do parked before? How would parked be? I don't know how parked would be the word that's in the painting here, but I do also remember that D... Okay, it's not parked, but, parked. What about perked? It doesn't make any sense. Porked? We might have even tried that one before, I'm not sure. It really makes, otherwise, I don't know why the P is in the painting, other than the fact that maybe the word starts with a P. But if it does, how does that relate to a bunch of red items that are mirrored and that are also in the sky? Sky, fly. If it does start with a P, I mean, that certainly would narrow down our options. So we can start like fooling around with other... We know that there is supposed to be an H here, right? So there's potentially like phoned, but I feel like we might have tried phoned. But again, that doesn't make any sense why phoned would be the word that would match with that painting. That's an H. Does an N even show up here? N doesn't even show up, it doesn't look like. Oh, it's paired, isn't it? Well, the idea occurred to me that it could be paired. I don't know for sure. It certainly makes sense in the fact that there's 2 of each red item. And also red is in the word. And also P is in the word. Is that what they're trying to do, is get us to clue into paired? Is R even an option at this slot, though? It's not an option, is it? Damn it. It's not paired. It's not paired. Is it something close to that, though? Is it really not in this slot? That sort of lines up with the fact that there's 2 of each red item. And then red would be in the... okay, but it's not there. The R is not there, so it's not paired. But there are pairs of red items. Now I can't get pair out of my head. I just don't get this one. I don't get this one, and I also don't think I want to take the time to spend any brain power on this one either. Maybe if we have time, we will come back to think about either one of these. This one I felt like maybe I was closer with the fact there are a lot of words that kind of rhyme. You have what I think are sin bins, and then there's a fin up here, and then you have pins in an infinity symbol. So like there could be something there that I'm close to cluing into. There's also a door over there. But I feel like I'm still far enough away on this one, and I don't want to spend the time or the brain power to figure it out. It's really cool that the gallery is one. It's kind of like the foundation in that it doesn't reset. If you do happen to draft it, for us now it's at least 2 guaranteed gems, which is awesome. It's like a parlor that doesn't even require any work. But now let's continue to draft. Let's see if we can get a room out of the gallery that will actually point in both directions, north and south. Maybe we even get a 4-way room. We'll see what... Let's just draft and see what we get. So there is a drawing room. Is that what... Does it actually mean that I specifically have to do the drawing room? I thought it meant these rooms that have the compass on them. But maybe those are actually drafting rooms. And what it means to say is when the drawing room shows up. Now there's going to be a trunk. It literally means the drawing room. Would I have actually picked this experiment if I had understood? If I had understood that, would I have actually done it that way? I think we do take the drawing room though, because I would rotate it. I don't know that I want lost and found here. Like I want to hold on to each one of these. I don't really want to get rid of these, but also lost and found could have... What did we pick up last time in the lost and found? We did get a gear wrench. However, we have a gear wrench in coat check. And I suspect that when you have something in coat check, it doesn't show up somewhere else. So we wouldn't be getting our hands on a gear wrench. And even if we do, we're losing our ornate compass potentially. I don't think I want to take lost and found here. It also is an elbow room. I would feel better about taking either the drawing room or the spare bedroom. And I think the drawing room is what I want. And it would be rotated like, not like, well, maybe like that. Is that better? I think I want it to point the other way, right? I think I want it to be like this. And then we can, yeah, we'd use, because we have the ornate compass, we can get things to go up the east wing from the bottom of the drawing room, and then we can go to the foundation through the top of the drawing room, theoretically. Assuming no security doors. Obviously, this does take it out of the draft pool, so we wouldn't have any additional trunks that would be spawning in the entrance hall, but I don't think that's a good enough reason for us to hold on to this. Like, I'm not going to take one of the other rooms here just to try to get another trunk in the entrance hall. Am I? I don't think so. This also gets us another chance to actually look at the drawing room, which we know has a safe. So let's take it. And then I think we just keep on drafting because we might get around to the foundation going through this way. So before we draft, though, let's just take a moment to think about... This clock is moving. I was just thinking for a second about what could be a date that opens this safe. What would make sense for the drawing room here? We had all those busts in the office. And I got that idea about busts that would have dates associated with them. Do any of these paintings or drawings have dates associated with them in any way? Is there anything that makes sense in the context of this specific room? Oh. Oh, you know what I just realized? The boudoir. The photo in the boudoir is a Christmas Day photo. 1225. That's got to be the boudoir safe code, isn't it? That has to be it. And that indicates to me that there must be some clue in each of the rooms that gives us a date. Right? That would make so much more sense than the idea that we're going to find a date from some random, you know, Denny Ravain's logbook over in the greenhouse behind a secret wall, and that somehow is going to open a safe that's over in the drawing room. That's so overcomplicated that of course only my brain could come up with. There's got to be something here. I think maybe what we're supposed to do is count. There are some things to note about these paintings. And I think I might know what they are. I've now, I think, realized what the date is. There is a pattern here that I had just been completely overlooking before. Holy shit. Holy shit. We're going to have to look at The Office again. We're going to have to look at The Office another time. But I think I understand here, as I was just kind of like sitting back and like looking, I was realizing some details. The first details, I had sort of like mentally noted the fact that, okay, before we've come through here, we've been through the drawing room many times, and I had noted that obviously there's duplicated paintings or drawings, right? You've got a dude with a top hat and a cane. You've got a lady with not a maid's outfit, just a regular dress. And you've got an older guy with an umbrella. And you've got some kids, or you've got a kid with a newspaper. And then you also have a horse. So there are actually 5 different... okay, this might take some... We'll have to think about this. Does the phone factor into this in any way? Okay. How overcomplicated can I make this? The detail then... So I had noticed that detail a long time ago. The detail that I kind of maybe had noticed before but hadn't thought anything of is the fact that there is a line with arrows at the end in each of these paintings. There's a line that's sort of, I guess, measuring how far apart the painting subject's feet are, the width of their step. And it looks like the old man with the umbrella has the shortest, and then the next shortest is the lady. The middle option is the guy with the top hat, maybe? And then you've got the kid running with the newspaper, followed by the horse. The horse would have the longest stride, correct? And so my thought was, this is the ordering. The ordering of the digits on the safe. What we need to do... We're going to try this. I don't know if it's going to line up with a date. That's my only question now, because there are... If it's a 5-digit code, then is it actually a date? But it might be a 5-digit code anyways. That somehow is not a date. I don't know. Let's just try my idea and see. What we're going to do is we're going to count how many paintings there are. Do we want to count the number of paintings or the number of... Because some paintings have 3 old men, but some paintings have 1 old man. So if we count all the old men, there's actually going to be more than... There's going to be more than 10, isn't there? Okay, maybe now I'm not so sure what how my idea is supposed to line up. I was thinking the shortest stride, because it's the shortest measurement, is the first digit. And then we need to just count how many old men there are, and that's going to tell us what the first digit is. But now there are these paintings that have 3 old men. What if we just counted the same... If the paintings that have old men, whether it's 1 or 3, do they count as the same thing? Could I just count them together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... There are 9 of them, so it's possible that the first digit could be 9. If any of these go over 10, then we're kind of in trouble, because then it's not one single digit. There's another detail here. may or may not be important, but some horses are faced to the right, some horses are faced to the left, some old men are faced to the right, some old men are faced to the left. Each of these has an option that is mirrored. Some don't, though. In some instances, the old man is not mirrored. Let me just go with my original idea rather than trying to think of, because there now are some permutations that are starting to come into view. The fact that you've got some paintings that are larger than others, some are facing in different directions. These may not group together the same way that I thought they would, but let's just try to do what I was thinking. So the second digit I was thinking would be the lady, because hers is the next widest step. At least it seems like it. It's pretty close to the old man's stride, but I think hers is just slightly longer. There are 1, 2... where's the next lady? 3, 4. Are there only 4 paintings with ladies? 1, 2... I think I'm getting this right. 3, and then 4. So 9, 4 so far is the code that I have. First 2 digits. The third digit would be the top hat man. 1, 2. The big one here is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there's also 9 drawings that have him. There's not 10, so we're still in single-digit territory. So 949 could theoretically be the start of a safe code. The newspaper boy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. 9495. And then how many horse drawings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did miss that 6th one up here in the corner, I think. I think there are 6. That's plausible as a safe code. 94956. Dang it. Oh my god. Now what if I reverse the order? What if the horse is actually the first one and the old man is actually the last one? We could reverse the order. 65949. Clear. 6, 5, 9, 4, 9. God damn it. It's also not a date. Notably, not a date. I think there might be some pattern here, but also it could be a red herring. Because the detail I haven't worked in is the fact that some paintings have 3, right? This one, there's 3 top hats here. How do those factor in? Do you not even count them? Could you possibly throw them out? And if you did, I would be throwing out 2 of the old men, 3 of the old men. That would make 6 the first digit. And I would be throwing out 1 of the top hat guys, which would make 8 the other digit. If we just throw them out altogether. But then that starts to feel... What does that even... If I'm throwing out 3, it'd be... What did I say? 6? So 6, 4... I might even be screwing this up now, because now this 9 becomes an 8. And then we have 5, 6. That doesn't... No, I feel like I'm getting off. I might not even be putting the code in correctly, because I'm not writing this stuff down. When I start to do stuff in my head that gets, you know, any more than 1 layer deep, I know I'm going to make mistakes. Man. I guess I'll try some of the newspaper clippings dates, but man, this just, I feel like I'm off in left field on the dates. The dates mixed with safes thing. I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere, but let's try it to be sure. I did honestly forget January 22nd is a birth certificate date for Mary Matthew Epson. I did forget that. We might need to retry. Let's just try that here. January 22nd. That's not it. Try it one more time. I don't know if I have to hit clear after enter, but January 22nd doesn't work on that safe, but I might need to try that on... If that is our mom's birthday, it's possible that one of the safes, maybe the boudoir, but the boudoir would make... It's like, why is that photo in the boudoir if not to tell us that the safe was there on 12/25? That it was opened on 12/25, right? Like, that's the wrapping is coming off of the safe on Christmas Day. I want to get back to the boudoir and try. We just need at least one success to help us fine tune in on what frequency we're supposed to be on. Because the one that I'm on right now of just trying random newspaper clippings, I don't think is correct. Okay, what about September 2nd? If there were any date out of those newspaper clippings that would work, the Royal Crown heist would be it, but I'll double check it here. Shit. Okay. I don't think I'm going to try any of the others, because now I am really highly doubting this idea that foreman's logs from the underground and random dates written by Denny Ravane and the dates on the years of publication of various books, those are not the dates that we're looking for, right? We'll try the fake passport date for our mom, but I don't think we're on the right track here. This is not cutting it. There's something I am missing. I feel like maybe I found something with these drawings. There's got to be a pattern here, but I just need to fine-tune this a little bit. Okay, we move on for now with the limited brain power. We can't spend all of our brain power in one spot, especially if it's overthinking us into a dead end. Let's continue drafting. Let's see if we can fill out our base in rank 3. Okay, there is an observatory that we could get, or we could redraw. We do have a secret garden key, so making apples more delicious, as well as getting the slice and a gem, right? We spend a gem to get a gem here in the observatory, and we get the permanent progress with our stars. It feels like that's good enough, right? Which is almost always how I feel when I'm in the drawing room. It's like, yeah, I could redraw here, but, you know, this is good enough. But on a day when I've got the solarium, maybe I should be aiming for the more expensive rooms or the more unusual, the ones that don't show up very often. Let's go with the observatory, though. And then I think we will keep drafting that way, or we try to get the drawing room. Maybe we draft the drawing room and try to get it pointed toward the foundation, and we leave the observatory east wing path to itself. Let's do that. We'll take the observatory, it points the right way, and we'll draft here in the drawing room and get more information before we head out. Sauna, we're not taking a sauna here. It's dining room versus commissary. This has got to be a commissary, right? Because it does point to the found. Obviously, we can rotate things, and the dining room could point to the foundation as well. So the dining room, getting us steps. It's at rank 5 as well, so we get to grab the lunch pail and get those steps immediately. But I think the fact that the commissary could get us a shovel. I mean, we don't have to have a shovel, but there are a few dig sites in the house that would be okay to go after. But the commissary gets us gems, right? Or at least in most instances, it gets us gems. It's not guaranteed to. But the dining room would be for free. And we could, you know, we'd have more doors to draft out of. But I think the fact that the commissary gets us more gems, the fact that we need gems to keep drafting. We need gems one way or the other. And we could get our hands on a shovel and some other cool stuff. I'm going to take the commissary here because we have so many coins. And it's pointing in the direction I want it, right? We want to get to the foundation as well. So let's take the commissary. And now we're going to check it, because if it has gems, it looks like it has gems. It even has a shovel, and it has a magnifying glass. Boy, did we pick well or what? Did we ever choose correctly? We're just getting all these things, right? We get them all? I think I might get every single one of these things. My only hesitation is, oh, you know, what if I don't end up spending all these gems, because we do want to have some coins for the shrine. We know there's a dig site in the aquarium. We've got a dig site in the solarium. And if we are going to be spreading gold at some point with the office, then it now it starts to make a lot more sense to also have, you know, dig sites to be able to take advantage of while you're searching for all that gold. Still would love to get a conference room, though. That would be the ideal. Okay, at the very least, we're going to take the set of 4 gems at a bare minimum. We know that that's going into our resource stock here. And then, I guess, I don't think the trophy room could show up here, but I'll just, now that I know that I have, if a 5 gem option shows up, I might want to be able to take it. I will take one more gem, and then let's draft out of the commissary to see what's offered, and if it does, in fact, lead us to the foundation. It does if we take either a chapel or a secret passage. The secret passage in this case would just be a spare room, unfortunately. Is that worth? Or is it better just to take the chapel, which would also give us a door into rank 6? If we rotate it like... Man, this compass is so handy. It's probably just the chapel. Probably just the chapel, but we don't have to go through the chapel. There is this world where we could make our way to the foundation, like back through the den. Because we do have a chest in the entrance hall that we want to open, and we do want to spread gold eventually. Now, I should also point out, the fact that we have the office means that the maid's chamber, we're here on day 22, which means this is actually the last day for us to run payroll. Ooh. Okay, I want to get to the foundation, but there are 2 other doors to get to the foundation still. We should be able to make it there. I think it's actually correct to take the maid's chamber here because of the fact that we can spread not just gold all around the house, but we can send payroll to the maid's chamber and get even more gold for our eventual shrine. That's the correct pick, isn't it? Yeah, we don't find items laying around the house. Boo-hoo. We need gold today. We want gold as much as we can get. So let's get that maid's chamber. But then I don't think we're going to go through it yet because we're going to go back to draft through the observatory. Yeah, we'll take the maid's chamber here. We'll just look and see, because sometimes there's like a an item on the nightstand over there. I don't see any items from here, so I don't have an immediate reason to go into the maid's chamber. We'll come back to that, though, at least once we've done payroll. And now, I think we just take both the magnifying glass and the shovel. And we hold on to our 5 gems. And keep the 12... We don't get any more gems yet because we want to save our coins. But I'm hoping to make use of both the magnifying glass and the shovel. Because there's stuff, even if we don't get the rooms that we know, like the master bedroom where we need a magnifying glass, it may still be useful for us to re-examine some rooms that we already have. We don't want to continually, you know, go through a room and think that we've completely, you know, seen everything there is to see on the notes that we've already examined, whether we've examined them with a magnifying glass or not. If that makes sense. Because maybe you've missed something. That's all. Maybe you have missed some things, because I've missed things before. Let's draft through the observatory, though. Did we already... we did not yet pick up the rewards from the observatory. There's nothing on the tables, but we can get the rewards here. I don't see any reason to wait. Let's get those. And we do get the additional gem as well, which I forgot about. Nice. We can definitely get the farmer's apple to make apples extra delicious. And then we get the slice. And does it get impacted by our salt shaker? Is that an interaction that works? I don't think the slice actually counts as food that interacts with the salt shaker, but that's fine. Let's go. Ooh. A servant's quarters that actually does get us some keys, because we have a maid's chamber and an aquarium. I don't see a need for us to get the pump room, at least for a while. So it's a debate here between, I think, well, the pump room would act as a room to allow us to draft up the east wing. That's the reason, right? It's basically just a good old boudoir that doesn't actually have a safe in it. I suppose there could be a dig site in the pump room. Could have that small bit of utility. And a trunk. We've seen a trunk appear there before. So the pump room could be more useful than I'm giving it credit for, because it lets us keep drafting up the east wing. Theoretically, the servants' quarters should still have a reasonable chance to show up given the solarium buff. And I do kind of like the idea of continually drafting up the east wing here from this direction. We're taking our sweet time to get to the foundation. Where after activating that foundation elevator, it may be like the last room that we end up getting to here in our draft. I do really hope I'm hoping that we get a whatchamacallit, a conference room at some point. Let's take the pump room here though, just to keep our draft going up the east wing. Make things a little bit, and we will draft in that direction. That will immediately tell us whether we've got a dig site or a trunk, and we have neither one of those. So let's keep drafting. Okay, here we can take a corridor and avoid the dark room. No reason. There is a boudoir, and we would get to try my idea right away if it's 1225, but the draft doesn't keep going. And I know we've done the 45 room draft thing already, but man, I want to give myself more chances to be on the east wing here, because that could get us a master bedroom. So either master bedroom or boudoir. We want to get back to those rooms for sure, but I also want to keep things going with a corridor. Let's do it. And now I don't think there's any details to check on this with the magnifying glass, but you never know. Just be sure. Still no invisible ink that shows up with it's not that kind of a magnifying glass. So, okay. Just trying to not take things for granted. All right, rank 5, room 5-5. Let's see what we get. There is a kitchen, but it does dead end us here. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that is a-okay. Now a veranda is also though a pretty nice option, because, you know, there's a really good chance that there is a metal detector in this room, as well as a trunk. Greater chance of finding items in green rooms. We've only drafted the solarium and the courtyard, and we know we have a secret garden key. So the veranda is very tantalizing. I certainly do want to get a kitchen though, but I also want as many chances as I can get at a master bedroom. We're on the east wing with a magnifying glass. Let's take the veranda. I think it makes sense, given what we've got. And let's keep it going. Okay, there's really there's no actual metal detector in here. Wow, there are 2 dig sites. We'll see if those are worth it. No metal detector. It feels like sledgehammer, shovel, and metal detector are the ones that show up in green rooms, and then as soon as you enable that buff from the veranda, which as far as I know is like it's on immediately, so the veranda gets its own buff. And so that means the fact that we have the shovel and the sledgehammer already, I was thinking it's like guaranteed to give us the metal detector. Not so much. Is not a guarantee. Okay, so we get some coins from our dig site, but that's it. So now, what do we have from here? Now we have a locked door. So is this where we use our secret garden key? It would be a pretty nice secret garden, because that would open up to the rest of, you know, we would guarantee that we've got a room going into rank 7 in the east wing, and I think that's what we do. The only, my little greed factor here is I want a conference room before I spread my fruit around, but I don't know that I'm going to get a conference room. We might have to settle for searching the halls for both gold and fruit. But hey, if you're getting fruit while you're searching for your gold that you've spread with the office, then, you know, that's a good deal, because you get your steps back. So I think we use our secret garden key here. Let's just use it and not be super ooper duper greedy. Ooper duper? That's a word, right? I think we just keep going here, right? I think we keep it going. At the very least, like, who knows? With the ornate compass, we could just steer back into either the maid's chamber or the foundation. But I think at the very least, we're going to continue up the east wing. And also, we know that there's a greater chance of items in green rooms. So there could be a metal detector here. Or there could be something else. Maybe it's just extra dig sites. Who knows? We've done this. And we've gotten this. So I don't know if there's any more to do with this other than to open the antechamber doors. Do we want to do that? I guess we could open the antechamber doors. Is there any harm? It's just, I got to go through the rigmarole of actually doing the thing. Actually doing the thing of pointing all the arrows in the same direction. But once I do that, we get an antechamber lever. So I suppose there's no harm. That's not really the one I want. Although it doesn't matter. Like, there's two here, right? We could get both of them opened. Yeah, I just don't think this does anything for us. The basement key, I think it's a one-time use. The door that was presumably locked that leads to the foundation elevator. I'm assuming it's where the foundation elevator goes. I think that door's just open now. I'll go through the steps anyways. You never know. Okay, and there we have our second door. We're just so well acquainted now with this antechamber. It's kind of silly. But yeah, there we go. And I guess we do our dig sites now, because I don't think there is a metal detector to find first. I'm definitely gonna, yes, as many turnips as you can give me. I want turnips and I want coins. I want them both. There we go. Boom. Give me those coins. Was it just there? I thought there was a third. Maybe the extra item that gets the buff from the veranda. Maybe dig sites are included in that pool of items. I think for now I might only draft northward and just see if we can get through the rest of the east wing and get ourselves a master bedroom, right? The first master bedroom we get, we just take it. I think that's basically what I'm looking for here. And that's how I'm going to spend my keys, right? That's what we're trying to do today. We got a magnifying glass. At the very least, that's our goal. Try to get a master bedroom when you got a solarium in the pool. Not a freezer. God damn it. But if I take a secret passage, that gets us a bedroom. That's got to be the play. That's got to be the play, right? It just sort of dead ends us, maybe. Well, yeah, there's a very strong likelihood that it dead ends us because there are a lot of bedrooms left in the pool. So we could get just, you know, very average stuff like bedroom, Geist bedroom. It could get us a spare bedroom, right? So we could, one way or the other though, if this is how you go for a master bedroom, I mean, this is how you do it, right? If this is how you go. This is the way out of these options. We don't want a regular old bedroom. And we don't want a freezer. Not right now. Not on this day, I don't think, when we want to put our gold into a shrine. It's interesting, though, that there are ways to, you know, if you're forced to take a freezer somehow, there are ways to unfreeze your assets. It's a fun thing to think about. This might be the first time we've taken a bedroom through the secret passage. Let's see what we get. Darn it. Now we'll take our servants' quarters. Settle for the keys. Or do I want to take a bedroom and try to somehow maneuver around to the I mean, with an ornate compass, there's a very good chance that you get around to that upper right-hand corner and try to take your last shot at a master bedroom. But a servant's quarters here does get us 3 keys. And that's pretty dang good, right? Costs us a gem, but that's still pretty good. Because then we get to go back. We get to go back to the rest of the house and try to we want to get to the foundation and we want to do other things. And there's still gems to buy in the commissary, I have to remember. Let's take the servants' quarters. And there may also be some stuff in the servants' quarters that we want to re-examine with the magnifying glass, maybe? We'll check it out. Was there something in the wastebasket here? Oh my god. Oh my god. Boy, it's a good thing we took the servants' quarters. There was a... Holy shit. No way. Okay, let's read about this. Mr. Ruota. Mrs. Babbage has... I just completely missed something in a trash can, guys. How many other rooms? Don't tell me yet, but maybe at some point I'll need you to tell me. How many other rooms that I've been in before? It's like, oh, I've explored those rooms. This is why we re-explore. Mrs. Babbage has told me that you will be overseeing network maintenance over the next few weeks while I will be gone, and I apologize in advance for the extra workload. I believe I will be back in Reddington by the middle of February, but even that is not a certainty. Either way, I do not anticipate there will be any major issues while I'm gone, as the difficulties we were having last month with the terminal connections seem to be resolved. If there is an emergency and you find yourself having to enter the central server site, I have set you up with a temporary admin key to allow you access to the network administrator controls. Admin key is the first 4 letters of your last name, followed by the first initial. The first and 5th characters should be capitalized. I think this is talking about the Blackwater admin access, isn't it? The Blackwater Grotto? Or is it the Black Bridge Grotto? The Grotto. We need an admin key for it, correct? Like, this is not Swan Song. This is a completely different thing. The first 4 letters of your last name, R-U-O-T, and then the first initial, which is what? What is Mr. Ruota's first initial? Well, we actually know that, don't we? Okay. Finish the letter. Hold on. Cat Laser Brain is getting... I'm always just a little caught off guard and a little, like, sheepish for having missed something. That's just, you know, but it happens. We move on. If you have any questions, please let me know in the next few days before my departure, Randolph. I'm excited to go back and try... Well, okay, we just need to... I think we know. We know the first name of Mr. Ruota, but I need to review my notes real quick. Or I need to check. Maybe it's even here in... Let me take a screenshot of this. But I think it's here in... There's a letter to Hartley. It's R-U-O-T-H. And the first... It's... The R and the H are capitalized. Because those are the first letters of his first and last name. Okay. I think we have an admin key for the frickin' Black Bridge Grotto, which I did want to go back. It's a good thing I didn't go there first. I had some wild idea that I was going to try in the grotto about the number that's on Denny Ravain's note that's scribbled in the grotto. Because Denny talks about the grotto, I think, on the note in the locker room. And I thought, oh, this number that he scribbled in the hovel, 45292, maybe that's the network admin key. It was in the frickin' trash in the servants' quarters. What the fuck? Holy shit. Oh my god. We also have this photo from the dark room, which I believe shows Hartley with a memo, but maybe it's a red memo. But it does say the green notes in Hartley's room are not true. Green memos found in Hartley's room are always false. Why is that important? Like, why is this, there are 12 major keys, knowing that that's false? Why is that important? Perhaps that will present itself more clearly at some point, but I don't quite understand that at the moment. While this is a fun story that's told in Herbert's letter, I don't think there are any other important details besides the fact that it reveals Hartley, his first name. I think that's the main objective there. So, so we have a password now. I'm just gonna write this down. Oh man. Okay, so hopefully we can make it back out to the grotto, and we can make it out to dig by our campsite. And also dump a bunch of money in the shrine. Those are our two big objectives now for the day. We have fruit spread around the house, which is going to make that easier to do. Okay, so we've got to go back out at least through the secret garden. So let's see. Why don't we just see what we get offered here? Even if this door is locked, I'm okay using one of my 5 keys here, because maybe it'll give us the vault. Although we can't afford the vault. I need to be careful of that. It does give us a coat check, though. Oh, man. Okay, now, if I needed to make things even more complicated here, yeah, I didn't think about the fact that I would not be able to afford a vault because I only have the 2 gems. Okay, there are a lot of... This is the point in a draft where my brain starts to go a little haywire because now we have an office that we want to spread gold from and we want to do payroll. But we also still want to make it to the foundation. And the foundation could change what is the optimal path to make it back out to both the campsite and the grotto to try the things that we want to do outside, as well as the shrine. There are several different possibilities on how to order things here. And now, I don't know that I have time to try to do a gear wrench today. I think maybe I'm answering my own question as we're going here. It's just that the clock tower right now is only buffing itself. Correct? I only have the clock tower as the single tomorrow room if I take it, which is fine, but it does spend one of my gems. I kind of have a feeling that this draft is winding down, though. Maybe not. Like, I have 4 keys left, and I shouldn't just jump the gun on that. But I don't think... If I take a coat check here, there's still a lot of chances that we could get offered the workshop. That's the main goal. If I take a coat check, I want to be able to draft the workshop. But I only have so many chances to draft the workshop here. And the workshop is... Actually, the workshop is unusual, isn't it? And we do have the solarium. Drafting up from the den, for example, could be... Anytime that we're drafting northward, whether it be from the den or the foundation or the maid's chamber, those are chances for us to get the workshop because we have the compass. Those sort of rooms are going to be more likely, along with the fact that we have a solarium. And if we have a workshop, we so want to have a gear wrench when we get that to be able to make it more common. That is the #1 room that we want to make more common, I think. Maybe it's just correct to take the coat check for that reason. It's sketchy as to whether we would be able to do all the things that we want to do. Get back to the coat check to turn in our gear wrench at the end of the day, but also be able to throw all our gold in the shrine and all the other stuff outside. We're at 40 steps. That's a lot of steps, and there's fruit spread around the house with a salt shaker. So it's probably not that far-fetched. Let's give it a shot. Let's go for it. I might be trying to do too much. This might be like stretching it in terms of how much I can get done with a draft, but I'm going to try to do it. I get so nervous when this is like, it's the feeling of whenever you're making one of those tough decisions playing poker or a Hearthstone draft or playing a Magic deck, those tough decision points, they're so nerve-wracking. But, you know, sometimes it's correct, and you might not get rewarded. You might end up having a run that goes south, even though you made your best, you took your best shot. And we are gambling to some extent that a workshop is going to show up while we have a gear wrench. But who knows? Maybe there's other things like a boiler room that show up that are stuff that we can use the gear wrench on. But the issue is, I don't really, first of all, know exactly how the gear wrench works, if it's a one-time use. And do we even need the boiler room anymore? We need the boiler room at some point to get the HPC activated so we can get back to that room, but we need a code for that lock that's in that part. This game is insane how much stuff there is to do. I think the first thing we do, though, is we try to get to... We're going to go back to the office, and we're going to do... How do we structure this? It's probably correct to just spread gold now from the office as well as doing payroll. Because the fruit that we spread from the secret garden is pretty much going to be spread into the same rooms that we would be spreading gold. It's just from the office, where are we going? That's the real decision point. But I guess let's start by going to the office, and then we can worry about things from there. We keep an eye out for fruit along the way. Our nice green apple, though, gets us 6 steps. Oh, and another green apple. Whoa. Oh, I forgot about that's... Oh, we're finally getting value. I don't have it in my inventory, but the buff from the observatory, whatever it was called, the farmer's apple. Does that mean that anytime an apple spawns, it's actually a green apple? If so, that's amazing. And now maybe my steps decision is going to be very easy. Or I'm going to be... I shouldn't have to overthink nearly as much how I order things here. The first order of business, though. First order of business. No, I'm not going to be able to have enough brain power to solve the gallery today. That's gonna have to wait for another frickin' time. Let's dig, though. Good old rusty nail there. Perfect. Banana left by the pool. There you go. Get your quick carb fill up after getting in your swim, except now the pool is drained and nobody's going to be swimming. Ain't nobody swimming for a while. Only trunks. No swimming. I am going to re-examine this photo over here with the magnifying glass. Is there some detail about this photo? Like, is there a secret date that's been hidden somewhere? The date of first romance or first the date of marriage between Simon and Clara, right? Lady Clara Epson. I don't see anything there, though. March of the Count. What does it mean? March of the Count? Count. Is Count supposed to be... would it ever be, like, the 5 titles? That's the count? Is there 5 books? March 5th? That would never be it, would it? March 5th? I'm going to try this here. Take a stab at this, but I don't think... March 5th? March 5th? Nope. There's got to be something involving... Like, you've got these busts, and you've also got this hand. Maybe the hand's not important. I don't know. Maybe the hand just points at the safe. But there are a bunch of busts, and there are also... Are there supposed to be details in this room that were incorporated into this puzzle, similar to the drawing room? You know? That's what I'm starting to wonder now. That it's not actually about me figuring out... Well, it's got to be related to the room that we're in, doesn't it? How many busts are there? 1, 2, 3. And we do see Jayariana. March of the Count. March of the Count. I'm going to look at the foyer one more time. I'm getting distracted thinking about this. I want to figure out these safe codes. But I'm starting to think now. We have Count Isaac Gates. If we count small gates... If we count small gates... Count Isaac Gates. Is the message about small gates? Hold on. Hold on. If we count small... This is small gates, isn't it? This is actually the same guy. This is big gates. This is small gates. If we count small gates, am I getting caught up in a red herring here? Swan origami? What? There's another gates here. If we count small gates, there is 1. Okay, how many? There's a second small gates. There's a third small gates. small gates. This is a small Jariena. Am I counting 3? If we count small gates, March of the Count. I feel like I'm getting distracted into something here because I don't see exactly how there's a date hidden in. There's 1 big gates, and then there's 3 small. I'm counting the busts of Count Isaac Gates. If we count small gates, March of the Count. That's the title that's in black here. Do we need a book? Is this what we need? Is we need to look up the birth? Maybe we just need, like I said before, right? We need to get more intel. That I just don't have enough information yet. And we just need like the history of Arindia or some book to tell us the birthdays of these people. I'm going to try like 1-3. This is not going to do it. March of the Count. I'm also going to try 3-1. If we count small gates. If we count small gates. I'm getting distracted, so I need to rein myself in here because I just don't have the info that I need. But I'm starting to I feel like I'm starting to see clues that might be here. I still don't know what to do with the chess pieces. There's so many different so many different threads to potentially pull on. It's ridiculous. We're going to spread gold, and we're going to... I know I wanted a conference room. I'm going to be so mad when they offer us a conference room later. I think this is the time to run payroll, though. Because the week resets, does it not? Or has it already reset, and I'm a dingus? Day 1 was on a Saturday, so that means days 2 through 8 would be the next week, and you would have 9 through 15, and then 16 through 22. This is the last day of this week. This is a Saturday. We run the payroll. Let's do it. And we also spread gold because we're going to be going back, and hopefully we get a whole bunch of green apples that are going to give us a whole bunch of steps. Awesome. Okay. Now, where do we go? Because we want to get to the foundation, but we also want to search for all this gold that we spread. And we also want to get back outside. Theoretically, there could be a loop if the foundation, in fact, takes us down where I think it goes. Like, we could loop all the way back around continually. So in what order do we want to process that loop? I think because we've run payroll, let's go to the maids, and also the fact that the maids chamber is right next to the foundation. We could like curve around and draft into the foundation, although it might be a little tough with having a compass, but I think that's what we do because we'll pick up the gold along the way, and it goes by the commissary, which I think we'll go ahead and buy out the commissary, just give ourselves the rest of those gems, and then we should be able to pick up enough gold from both payroll and the rest of the house to make our shrine really powerful, and maybe even still afford a book. Because who knows, we might still get a vault. So we've done the stuff at the terminal. Let's go through the pool, and then we might also check the den just to see if there is something in the den, if we can see either gold or fruit to get in the den. I might just go in there and get it, because I'm not totally sure that I want to draft up the den yet. I don't see anything in there, so what we'll do is we'll focus in this. We'll go back through this direction, and we'll keep our eyes peeled for gold like that. There you go. Any gold laying around the gallery? I can just tell the way that this draft is going. I'm not going to have brain power available to try to solve the gallery today, so just don't even try. Save it for another day. All right, let's buy the rest of the gems. I think there are 4 left, and that's fine. We'll spend 12 gold here. Wish I had a coin purse, but that's okay. Totally fine. Bought out the commissary. Any gold laying around the commissary? No. Now we go through. I do see the gold. Nope, that's the feet of the goose. I thought those were coins there. Not so much. Okay. We do have the payroll that has been dispersed, and it is 10 coins is what I remember. Okay. So 10 coins, nothing crazy. but the week of 11/29 has been dealt with. Anything in the photo? Magnifying glass for this? I'm not noticing anything in particular. Anything hidden on the borders here? Like there could, I just thought of, there could be something written around the edge of the painting. Not seeing it though. So let's, is it possible there's a drawer that I haven't opened? Like I'm so self-conscious now with having missed that note that was in the garbage. And now I'm like, I'm gonna double and triple check. Make sure I haven't missed anything in otherwise obvious places. I don't think so, though. Okay. All right. Let's draft and see if maybe we can get a workshop. We do get a laboratory. Now, okay. Interesting. So I don't know how the gear wrench works, do I? I do not know how this works because it is, I thought it was going to show up as an option similar to the rotate floor plans. Does this mean, how exactly is this thing supposed to work? Maybe maybe it happens when you actually, I can't select this now, can I? I don't want to take the laboratory. There's no reason to take the laboratory because we already did the laboratory from the office. So I guess I'm taking the rotunda here because I kind of want to get to the foundation from here. I don't love spending 3 gems for it. Oh, but I could rotate the laboratory. I forgot about that. Okay, so once again, using the laboratory like a pump room is, I guess, maybe what we're going to do here just to save ourselves 2 gems. Because otherwise, this rotunda, I don't think it... I'm not... Like, I'm in a mode right now where I don't really care too much about drafting the rest of the rooms in the house. We've done the 45 room thing. I would love to get my hands on a vault, and that's basically it. I'm basically ready to, like, call it a day. I would... Also, we're trying to aim for a workshop, right? As long as we have keys still, trying to get workshop to show up so we can use the gear wrench on it. But at the same time, how the heck does the gear wrench work? Because now the laboratory it's not being, like, I guess I have to draft the laboratory and then maybe the gear wrench kicks in. It's like, do you want to use the gear wrench here on the laboratory? Is that how it's going to work? Maybe we should find out. Because this is the option that gets us to the foundation most quickly while saving us 2 gems. And I suppose it'll get us information on exactly how the gear wrench works. I would just hate if it doesn't give me the choice. That's the one thing I'm a little worried about here is the gear wrench some kind of item that just automatically gets used on the first mechanical room that you draft, and then you're forced to make a choice. It's like you're locked in here, you drafted a mechanical room, now you have to choose what rarity you want this laboratory to be. But I think it would give you a choice, wouldn't it? There's really only one way to find out. Let's do it. Laboratory. There it is. Okay. We could just continue because it's already set to standard. We could adjust it all the way up to rare, right? This should not be consumed, right? This is like, it's like a shovel or a metal detector. It's not like a key. We have this wrench that we can hold on to. We don't have to just use the key and then it's gone. So I could adjust this laboratory and make it more commonplace if I wanted to. Do I want to do that? When you have the Blackbridge Grotto, it seems less exciting. But if you get the laboratory as a common room, that does mean that all of a sudden you could just get access to, the laboratory more commonly already. You don't have to use the Blackbridge Grotto, and you can use that for something else, either security or maybe the shelter or the office. It is just, you know, if you turn it down to commonplace, it does start to crowd out other options in the pool. You could probably go through and really overthink things to try to figure out exactly, you know, run some like computer model, set up a, have ChatGPT design a Python script for you or and then fine tune it yourself to really figure out, is it better to have a laboratory at commonplace or at standard? But we do see how it works now. Obviously, it works at the moment that you draft it, and you do have to actually draft it. So I think it's okay having it commonplace now that I think of it. It costs a gem, but that's all right. It just means we just get our experiments online even more quickly, right? We don't have to wait to get an office or a security room. And then we can just, I think that's fine. I think it's okay. I certainly don't want to make it less common. And also this means that the additional doors in the mechanarium that we eventually want to open are going to be more likely to open eventually. So let's do that. Let's do that. And then we continue drafting. We see what we get. We might get a boiler room. It could be a boiler room that's offered here, and that might, then we would have a decision potentially on what to do. Any reason to, we've done the lab experiment, so there's no reason to access the terminal, and we've done our special order. So we move forward. Sure enough. Sure enough, it's a boiler room. That's what we want, though. It's just a question of which direction it is pointed, but this gets us to the foundation. Boom. Spreading keys throughout the house wouldn't be terrible, but it blocks off the foundation. From this direction, we'd be down to the one door. I think it's the boiler room here. The only question then is, what direction do we put it, and what rarity do we make it? I'm going to go ahead and take the boiler room in this orientation because we at least get a door back into rank 7. Let's do it. And then, what are we doing with the gear wrench? My instinct is that maybe we turn it down to standard, but I don't think I go all the way to commonplace because we've done so many things with the boiler room already. We're not in this rush to get it. It does more easily get us access to stuff like the laundry room, but it also more easily gets us access to the furnace, which, I don't know, maybe that's good because one of the interactions that we eventually want to pull off is freezer plus furnace. We want to melt the freezer one way or the other, and I think we have to get the furnace next to it to do it. Near it, not exactly sure how close it has to be. Maybe it's correct to turn this down to commonplace because there might still be stuff that needs to be done with the boiler room that I'm not really... I know we need, obviously, the HPC as well. It's just there's a lot of rooms that get buffed by the boiler room being... If you're drafting through it and you've got the duct system there, there's stuff like the archives and the weight room that I'm not thrilled to see usually. Although the weight room has kind of been an MVP room for us, so maybe I should... maybe I shouldn't hate. I gotta show love to the weight room, the fact that it's the one that got us the inheritance in the first place. And I suppose if we are gonna be doing the mechanarium thing, I don't think it has its own ducts, but we want it to show up when we've drafted a whole bunch of other stuff that, like the boiler room. And the boiler room does connect to the laboratory, it connects to security, it connects to, you know, several other mechanical rooms. I feel like this is a reasonable compromise. I'm not like dying to get the boiler room like I was at one point, but I know there's still stuff that we need to do with it. So moving it from unusual to standard feels like an okay thing. Like I'm just not always thrilled to be like, oh yay, boiler room. Like it's a T-shaped room, which is nice. But also, like, the fact that drafting out of those doors is much more likely to be these ducts-related rooms that may or may not be good for me. So I will keep it at standard for now. That's my instinct. And yeah, now I think we will draft the one room. I want to get to the foundation. But I also, you know, if we got a vault through the top of the boiler room, I would take the money and I would run. So I think I draft the top of the boiler room first. So the only question is, do I power it? Because if I want to get a vault through the top of the boiler room, I don't think I want to power it. So I think let's do that. Let's, without powering up the boiler room. We're not specifically looking for the vault, but like one of these, I'm at this point in the draft where I'm good with what I've got. Like I'm not I want a vault, and that's basically, I want to buff that gold total and then be able to just go back out and try the stuff outside and do my shrine and coat check my gear wrench again. That's pretty much it. So let's just draft. Let's just draft. Let's not worry about the power source. A showroom, you say? God damn it. Ooh, look at how amazing this ornate compass is. Weight room versus passageway. This is what I'm saying. Like, you know, okay, I guess a passageway, you know, buffing the chances of seeing a passageway is pretty cool. Sometimes. I'm down to 2 keys. It's not like I have a bunch of keys left. And I didn't want a showroom. I would have loved to have a workshop. That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. But I don't want to take any of these here. I don't want to take any of them. I don't want to spend gold on showroom stuff. We're so late in the draft as it is. I don't want the showroom. So I guess I'll take the passageway for the doors. It does spend 2 of our gems, but I care much more about steps for right now than I do about gems, because I think we're close to done on the draft. So we'll take the passageway, and maybe we'll come back to it. Maybe we'll never see it again, because at this point, I'm going to the foundation. The foundation awaits. This is... I really did not... They say it does not reset each day. They try to tell me. Ooh, I forgot the foundation has a bunch of dig spots. I forgot about that. Hell yeah, dude. Even more reason to have a shovel. There's a key. All right, all right. Maybe they're trying to give the draft more legs than I want. Okay, the time has finally arrived, though. We can, in fact... Even though we're riding an elevator, this is probably going to count as 1 step, right? Even though we're not stepping anywhere. But it's going to take us to not the foundation, right? That's fine, though. We must find out. We must see what happens and where exactly we're going. It does look like we're going to where I thought we were. Okay. Ooh, did we not spend a step? No, we're still in the foundation. That's what it is. As soon as I step out of this elevator, I think I'm in the basement, right? I'm in the foundation still. Never mind. Never mind. Oh. Oh, that's fascinating. There's artwork here. Where's the second painting, though? Where's the second painting? Was it up in the... I was wondering... I was thinking to myself, the fact that there was no... I guess we can ride the elevator back up without this costing us? We don't need to see the artwork, but is this not like the... Oh, it's on the floor. Never mind, there it is. You have pilot and plot. So in order to see the artwork associated with this room, now that the foundation is permanently here in this room, I was thinking to myself, well, what if you didn't realize the thing about the artwork until just now? Are you screwed? Are you just going to have to fill in the blank of that letter that's in the room where the foundation is? No. The artwork is down here. Okay. So we can, in fact, get to underneath the house, and we are in the foundation / the basement, which I presume that door's going to open, but I don't know for sure. Am I okay taking the steps outside right now? Because I only have 37 gold. I don't really want to go to the shrine this instant. But I also don't necessarily have to go to the shrine. I could go to... Like, this does get me back to the entrance hall more efficiently. And from the entrance hall, we can search through the rooms that branch off to the west and the east that have both fruit and coins in them. The entrance hall also has a trunk that we have not opened yet. That's there. I think we do this because I'm ready. This is fine. This is where we actually do go. Assuming this door opens, it does open. So this door is a permanent unlock, which is what happened last time. Even though we had the key with us, the door just opened. We didn't have to unlock it. Now this turns into the basement. Okay. And that's the reservoir. Okay, it all is connecting in this crazy freaking way. What a game. What an unbelievably awesome game. We do what I what I said we were going to do now. We go outside because we have a shovel. And we have an admin key as well. We're going outside. For all I know, there's like a 4th vault key that's buried outside. Or it could be a sanctum key. That's part of what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that it's a sanctum key that's buried outside behind the tent. Was there anything with the magnifying glass that we want to check on this? Let's just double check some of these notes because I've missed stuff before. Oh shit, I'm a dingus. I'm a dingus because there's a note over here. Okay, I'm gonna spend 2 extra steps, but I'm a dingus. I should have done this right. I should have done this right now, but we're here and I may not come back here. So let's do it before I waste any more steps. I do need the magnifying glass for this thing. There's a spot behind here. Okay, this thing is in place. I need to go up here because there is a note. Although I think I already kind of have the gist of the note, but we need to make sure. Take nothing for granted. Double check everything. Re-explore everything. Because I don't necessarily know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. 1 backup lever for each antechamber door has been installed in separate locations for redundancy. However, we have been told that the location or locations of this reserve system will not be disclosed to the staff. That is what we read before. It is exactly what we read before. Now, what about this? North lever underground, north of reservoir. We know that too. Okay. So there wasn't anything there that we didn't already know, but you know, we still had to double check. You gotta double check. Don't take anything for granted. What about this note? Is there anything hidden in the pot? The sketch of the pot on the 100 bells. Sandy Heights, 5 p.m. Sandy Heights, 5 p.m. That's got to be an important clue somehow, doesn't it? This game, it's so much fun, and also I'm getting this impending sense of dread that I have missed stuff, and that I have missed it in places where I'm not necessarily, you know, like the servants' quarters. It's not on my radar. The fact that it is missing, or the fact that I need to re-examine it, or there's stuff that I haven't even seen in a trash can. Okay, I'm going the wrong way. I don't think there's any... Like, do I need to go back down to the precipice to re-examine the book that was down there? We know there is a chess puzzle. I haven't even begun to think about how the chess puzzle is going to be solved. We know that that awaits us at some point. So we have to go down there eventually, and hopefully it's going to be with a magnifying glass to allow us to review. Although Realm and Rune is a book that we can purchase in the bookshop, so maybe we're not going to even have to reread it in its scuffed, torn up version that's down in the precipice. First thing we're trying, though, admin key. Let's frickin' go. This admin key has been... No! Oh, no, it's been deactivated. This admin key has been deactivated. Hartley's key is not active. Who else might have admin access, though? Anne Babbage? Ah, interesting. We've logged in with... That's so cool. It's not a great password system if you kind of... If it's one of those where once you break one, once you found one key, you found them all, provided you have just a little bit of information. Let's try this again, because some of those options are grayed out. Anne Babbage might not have full access. Who would have full access? Who would have full access? Herbert Sinclair, wouldn't he? Admin not found. Ooh. Admin not found. Would they have given us? Would they have given us an admin key? Admin not found. So Ann Babbage can log in. There's no way that Denny Ravanes would still be active, right? Deactivated. Both. Why has Hartley's been deactivated? Hartley Ruota. Let's go back to Ann's and see what we can do with hers. Because at least it lets us... Baba. Baba is you. Baba is admin key. This at least... Oh, there's a user database. Well, that's the only thing we can do right now, right? Because this admin key only has permissions for the user database. But of course... Oh, wow. Well, wait a second. If she can look at the 3 additional delisted admin keys. Denny Ravane, we tried these 2. Key expired. Can I select this? Okay, wow, it actually gives some details on this. Hartley Ruota. Temporary administrator, account created January 29th, 1993. Last login, February 5th, 93. Most drafted room, servants' quarters. I wonder why. Personnel notes. The Baron's vault. No, the Baron's valet for 20 years. Substituting for Mr. Moore until we find a suitable assistant admin. This is super cool. What about Mr. Ravane? Groundskeeper, former. Created 11/2/88. Last login 2/1/92. Most drafted room, greenhouse. Personnel notes, terminated March 1992 for suspicion of blackmail and not watering the plants. That's the real offense. Those goddamn plants. He was too busy trying to get to room 46 and all the plants died. Let me go ahead and screenshot both of those to make sure I've got those down. And we should also, we'll check out, I want to check out, oh, right, Randolph. I thought of Randolph first. I was like, oh, maybe we need to log in with Randolph's, but what's his last name? Moore, Randolph Moore. But also K. Thompson? Who that be? I probably know. Do I have a Thompson located listed in my notes somewhere? Oh, Kimberly Thompson. I actually have Kimberly Thompson, who drafted or checked out Drafting Strategy Volume 3. Hello? Okay, Kimberly Thompson. Is she anywhere else? I think I also have her listed in... Oh, that's right. She was Moore's assistant. She was the one who couldn't get the laboratory. Her note is in the laboratory. I typically work over at Cinca Labs. Oh, okay, that makes total sense. So we'll try those 2 here in a moment. Let's first read about Ann Babbage. House manager, created January 31st, 1986. Last login was October 25th, 1991. So if the year is 93, but Babbage is still here, isn't she? She just hasn't logged in for a while. Maybe if all she can look at is the user database, then she doesn't have much reason to log in very often. Her most drafted room is the office. Makes sense. We've seen the picture of her in the office, and she would have the ability to run payroll and stuff like that. Personnel notes. Author of all personnel notes. Okay, so she wrote all of this. Okay. Sure, there we go. I was thinking for a second, like the notes that are spread around the house. Which ones of those are personnel notes? These are personnel notes because it says right there on the thing. Personnel notes. The user database has the personnel notes. Okay. Randolph Moore. Lead system administrator. Created January 20th, 86. Last login was September 1st. Most drafted room, laboratory. Lead lab technician for Cinca, setup, estate terminals, and Blackbridge network. Now, will he have been silly enough to leave his more R as the password? Maybe. The way this is going, I feel like that's a high likelihood. Kimberly Thompson, assistant lab tech, most drafted room laboratory. Recent transfer from Cinca, former executive assistant to H.S. Sinclair. She was his executive assistant, trusted with full admin privileges. They both have admin logins. Okay. Now it says 3 additional delisted admin keys. Who might those be? If I look through my floor plan notes and check notes that are either from Anne or mention her. Oh, there was Mr. Nagula. Well, here's the thing. Like, the only interest, I think we just want to try logging in with either. This clue here about 3 additional delisted admin keys. Do we want to spend any time thinking about what those could be? Or do we just log in as more R? Let me just take a screenshot of this so I have this for my notes as well. But that seems like what we want to do. More R. But also, it would be so bad to leave this as your admin key. Network administrators everywhere are shaking their heads at how would you let this, how could you let this happen? Okay, does it show us the same user database? Same user database. The delisted keys don't show up here for Mr. Moore. Network settings, though, is active. There are terminal timeout settings and electronic mail settings. What? Terminal timeout settings. The timeout setting controls how long a computer terminal stays connected to the network without disconnecting from the server. The default setting, immediate, requires a new connection each time the user attempts to log into the network. The other options are what? 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, and immediate. The timeout setting, I think what it means is, so when you log into the network, when you use Swan Song, you have to use that each time. And that's why immediate, as soon as you walk away from a terminal, now you're logged out. But you could set this to where, is there any reason not to have it set just as 1 month? Just set it as the longest as possible. It controls how long the computer terminal stays connected to the network. I think I'm just going to set this to 1 month because I don't think this means that you're going to have to wait a month before you can spread gold again. That's not what this is talking about. It's talking about logging into the network. So I don't see a downside setting that as 1 month. That feels fine. There might be some second order consequences to that I'm not considering. Email settings. Email settings. There are oh my God. There's email to access in all of the other terminals. Check connection offsite? What? Check connection. Yo, what the heck? Why can I not go back up? Check connection offsite. I'm gonna try this. And I don't know why my arrow, though, can't go back up to where it was just at. Let me go back. Let me go to email settings here. Okay, this also looks like we just want to turn all of these on. There's a mailbox for each of the other terminals in the shelter, security, and laboratory. Now, check connection off-site. What does that mean? Inbound, outbound connections and electronic mail communications outside of the local network have been temporarily disabled. Once again, this is kind of suggesting that there's going to be other parts of the world off of the estate that we would somehow be able to visit and then maybe even access terminals from those locations. Which is just mind-blowing to me that would be an option. Okay, but all these mailboxes are turned on. What the fuck? There's so much potential new information now to get at these other terminals. We have the lab that's been drafted, so we could potentially check that today. Wow. Okay, back to that was just the first one. That was just the first things. Network settings. What are admin logs? There's a whole log here that Moore's written down. Oh my God. Okay, let's, nothing else to do. Let's check it out. January 20th, 1986, the last cables have finally been laid and the office terminal has been connected to the central network. Given the ever-changing nature of the rooms on the estate, we chose to install the server outside of the house to maintain connection stability at all times. A small cavern off of the eastern drive was selected for the server site. All remaining computer terminals on the estate are now connected to the network mainframe and will now begin testing remote access capabilities between them. I've also asked the Baron to come up with a name for the network. After some deliberation, our network has been named Blackbridge, a somewhat ominous name for the project given the legend from which the term derives, though very fitting considering we chose an actual cave to house the mainframe. I only hope that our servers do not suffer that same fate that befell those in the story. Well, now I'm very curious to learn more about that legend, and is it actually connected to the history of the country in some way? We know that the insurgents chose to call themselves Blackwater. How is that related? All right, July 1st, regular maintenance report fixed a connection error that was occurring between the office and security terminal. We have also added electronic mail capabilities to each terminal that can be accessed via the network. February 10th, 87. Recording capabilities of all cameras on the estate have been disabled. Oh. Additionally, the existing video playback functionality on the security terminal has also been removed. Wait a second. Recording capabilities of all cameras on the estate have been disabled. Recording capabilities. So the cameras are there, they just can't actually like record to a VHS tape or something. Additionally, the existing video playback functionality on the security terminal has also been removed. Okay, why is this being mentioned? Is this something that we could re-enable? Will we want to re-enable some recorded footage? There are a lot of security tapes or VHS tapes in the security room. There are some deleted logs here. Ooh, that is not sus at all. March 2nd, March 3rd. All of these. Basically everything starting March 2nd and on has been deleted. Whoa! Can I even access? No, I can only do previous or next or return to menu. So everything has been deleted except there is one for July 25th, 87. As requested yesterday, new admin key created, though the requested name doesn't quite fit with our typical length formatting. Oh shit. July 25th, 87. I don't know that that date stands out to me, but what I'm thinking is, now am I gonna have to cross-reference to figure out who might have been hired? Was there a new hiree at the estate at that time whose name wasn't quite, like they needed to add some extra letters? And is that one of those 3 keys that wasn't listed? Do we get something extra by logging in with one of these keys that we've got to figure out that has not listed? September 1st, 87. Effective immediately, all email capabilities have been restricted and now can only be accessed via the office terminal. All other terminal inboxes have been archived and can only be restored via admin control, which we have done. Oh boy. Oh boy. There's so much reading potentially to do. Through these email logs. Oh my god. January 20th, 89, temporary access to the mainframe and Blackbridge Grotto has been restored to perform routine maintenance. And then January 4th of the following year, 1990, temporary access to the mainframe and Blackbridge Grotto. I see. So they were like temporarily powering down in order to do some routine maintenance. Okay, this is just, I don't know if that's important or not. So then July 3rd, 91, updated access privileges for the following account types. Admin access has full access to all features. Personnel access is only the user database. We saw that with Ann Babbage. Archive access, full access plus access to archived admin logs and deleted database entries. There is another login we've got to figure out. Archive access. Archive access. There's a room in the... There's a floor plan called the archives. Archive access. Who would that be? It's not immediately coming to mind. Would it be our mom? And would she use her name? Or would she have some other name? Like one of her fake passport names that needs to be used? We could certainly try. We could try to do something related to our to our mom's name. Or maybe Lady Clara was another one, but she would have passed by this point, right? Didn't she pass back in 83 or something? July 25th, 92. RTA is down while we work on a solution to reported terminal connection failures. November 28th, RTA is working again. Terminal connections tested and confirmed functional to make future testing easier. Added the ability to access offline terminals through the RTA when Blackbridge is open, which we have unlocked. Per request, one temporary admin key has been added to the network, Ruota H. Admin key deactivated later on 220. A new admin key has been added to the network, Tom K. Welcome to the team, Kimberly Thompson. And then there's an admin log here from Kimberly. Added new data management features to Blackbridge admin control, updated the user database. November 6th, changing of the guard in preparation for Simon's arrival. This is this is day 0, if you will. In preparation for Simon's arrival, inbound and outbound messages, as well as offsite connections from the outside of state, have been disabled per the instructions left by the Baron himself. So many deleted logs that we need to get access to. Who would have access? We should try something. We should try our mom's name and see if we can get that. Okay, and that was still just the admin logs. There's so much information that we're adding to what could... I don't even want to know what's going to be in the data files. I don't even necessarily... Oh, never mind. Import trophy data? Whoa, wait a second. Oh, shit. Import trophy data. And there's also the ability to duplicate and clear save data, as well as creating backup, restoring. Wait a minute. What? You could off... I mean, obviously you could probably do this through Windows, right? You could just go into the PC files and figure out where your save data is and make a backup so that you could come back to a particular day. You could do that the hacky way, but this is just built into the system, apparently, if you have the right login. So we're not... Oh, wait. If that's the functionality that we're being locked out of, I don't feel quite as bad. Do I even want to import trophy data? Utilizing the Blackbridge... You can import trophy data from other save files? Oh. Oh, so if you started a new save file, you could import the trophy data. But we don't want to do that because we have no other save files. So, okay. So this is for later if you just want to, you know, like... I see. Oh. So if you... Oh. The whole day 1 trophy. I was wondering about this. Right? How do you go back to day 1 and try to draft? How do you get all the trophies on one file? I thought it maybe was just going to update based on your overall Steam progress. The fact it has that achievement, that trophy, to get to Room 46 on day 1, which seems, how the hell are you going to do that? You got to get really, 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 really lucky because you don't have anything. You don't have any of the amenities that we've now afforded ourselves with... the orchard and the outer room and all that stuff. Okay, we don't have to do this right now. So that's the one less thing we have to worry about. We're getting to the point now with this draft where I need to narrow my attention, and I'm going to try to screenshot and grab as much of this stuff as we can, but we have to... We've at least enabled emails. Oh my God, emails at other... I don't know that we're going to be able to do that today with the... I might need to just like screenshot whatever is there at the laboratory. But at the same time, we've made the laboratory common. So it's going to show up a lot more often now. At the very least, I know that I do want to try to dig up what's behind the campsite. This has to be something to dig up here, right? There's 2 rocks among the white trees. There's a dig site. Ah, yes. Okay, what this be? Oh, it's a new floor plan. The conservatory adjusts the rarity of the floor plans in your house. What? Well, of course we're going to add that. Hello? What? There's another green room out there, folks. Oh my God. It makes sense that you dig up a missing floor plan that is that's a green room. Holy shit. Room directory, please. Not outer rooms, found floor plans. This Baroque Arboretum showcases and preserves the rarest specimens of every type and variety. Through selective propagation, the gardener here may influence which flora or flora, because we're playing blueprints, guys, get it? Will be considered commonplace during the next season. Okay, so gosh, we don't just have the ability with the wrench to make certain things more common. We can do this with the conservatory. Okay. Okay. Presumably you would be able to, it looks like there's like they have in the drafting studio. I can see I don't know. Maybe this is one of those things where it's like, we're going to pick 3 random floor plans from your house and you get to choose one of them that you're going to adjust the rarity. It may not let you adjust the rarity of every single room in the house. That would probably be just a tad bit OP as I'm thinking about it. So maybe it's going to be useful, and we're certainly going to draft it when we get the chance. Okay, next thing here is we go and we get the gold that is strewn about the opening rooms. And we get to open that chest in the entrance hall. We're going to get the gold that is, there's like 2 little paths here from the entrance hall that go to the solarium, and then the other one that goes here to the mailroom and the storeroom. We're just going to check there. Maybe we'll look in the hallway and see if there's gold there as well. But now we're just going to have this like east wing that has gold in it that we haven't got yet. But otherwise we'll have picked up pretty much all the gold in the house, and that is where I think we will turn around and throw it all in the shrine. We'll see how much we get. That's going to maybe answer how much we might put in the shrine versus how much we might actually put in the bookshop. There's 3 keys here, man. Like this draft, if it gets some steps, the draft could continue for a while, but man, I don't know how much energy I have, because like I see some coins there. I feel like I'm getting to that point where the brain energy has kind of run out. My brain power is running lower than it might normally at this point in a draft, and I feel like we've already accomplished so much. So let's not stress too much about what is left to do here. Do I see any? I'm gonna check the storeroom because there might be stuff hidden around to the sides, including dig sites. So it's, I think, worth the extra couple steps. And there's supposed to be fruit here as well. We're looking for fruit. I'm gonna check the mailroom. I'm gonna check it because there's probably something here. There's an orange. Boom. Dude, there's a key card here. I completely missed there's a key card. We have not run into a security door. We've gotten extremely lucky, but there's a key card here. We could draft. We only have 2 gems, but like we're not that far off with an ornate compass from drafting every single room in the house. Like that's totally something that could happen here. We'd certainly have enough keys. It's a question of will we have the steps. Try not to miss anything, but also have I overlooked some item or clue in a place like the Nook that we've been through so many times before? There is a green apple here in the library. Let's go. No coins, but we do get to check the bookshop and the solarium. And the solarium, of course, has a dig site, maybe 2? I don't remember. But we do get a banana for our troubles. And not as many coins as I was hoping, though. So with 40 coins, I think, let's see. So we got 28 steps. It's going to take us, we're going to get back to the entrance hall. We're going back to the entrance hall no matter what. Well, the only question is, would we buy a book here in the bookshop? I don't think so. I think what I would rather do is put 40 coins into the shrine, because that gets me, I think it gets me 4 days worth of a buff. I would like to get 50 coins to put into the shrine, but that's Getting back out to the shrine is going to be the question. We do have the foundation. Makes that a lot easier. I don't think we're buying any books in the bookshop today, though. I don't think I'm going to try to get value out of my coins that way. So we're going at least back to the entrance hall. And then are there any coins that I can see? I do seem to see coins here in the hallway. Is that worth... It would be like 3 extra coins. Maybe what I do instead is I save those coins for whatever happens with the rest of our draft. Because we kind of want to draft out of the den and see if we get the workshop, right? Now's when we would love to see the workshop so we can make it a common. And then if we're lucky, we get back to... We still have the kitchen, and now those would be coins in the hallway that could go to the kitchen. And we still have the dining room. And we've already reached rank 8, so as soon as we draft the dining room, we've got a whole bunch more steps. If we're thinking about eventually getting back to the coat check to drop off our wrench. Although, if we get the workshop, maybe we don't even care about that. I think 40 coins is good enough for us to throw into the shrine, and then whatever else happens with the rest of the draft, happens. If we run out of steps, we don't get our gear wrench back to the coat check, it's fine. It's all good. We'll get a gear wrench at another point. It's A-okay. Who knows? We might get a super spiffy shrine buff that's actually really OP. Hopefully it's a new one. I'm guessing there's probably not just 2 different... The way this game is set up, there's got to be more than just 2 shrine buffs. Arrow keys. 40 gold, a wonderful round number to throw into the shrine. Let's make it happen. And we get the blessing. You've got to be kidding me. It actually goes 5 days. I thought it was only going to be 4 days. Did we do this before with the blessing of the chef? Did we do 40 gold and get a 5-day buff? So maybe it's like from 0 to 9 is 1 day, 10 to 19 is 2 days, and so on. And we happen to get to just at the break point, 40 to 49. Just make it into the 40s, and now you have a 5-day buff. Okay, cool. Blessing of the Tinkerer. Whenever you draft a mechanical room, trigger your current experiment. Dude, that is so fucking cool. And now that we have the Blackbridge Grotto and the Laboratories Common, we're starting experiments so early. That is so fucking sick. Okay, cool. So Blessing of the Tinkerer, I love the sound of that. That sounds so much fun. Awesome. We might even get some usage out of it today, maybe, but going back to the entrance hall might be dicey. We're going back to the entrance hall right now. We'll see about whether we get back to it beyond that. The first objective, though, from here, that's cool. I'm glad that we picked up a new floor plan from behind the campsite and it wasn't a sanctum key. That's awesome. So we'll see if maybe we get our hands on the conservatory here and now. We will find that out. But our first objective is to go draft from the den. And then I think we'll just see how things go from there, whether we make it back to the coat check or not. Like we said, we've got options to get steps. Still, and there's a banana right here in the hallway, dude. Things may, this draft may still go on for a while. We'll see how it goes. There was even, wait, there was gold here on the, okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. I'm fine with this because we might need these coins for a kitchen. Nope, no problem. I'm just, how did I miss that after I spread the gold from the stinking office? Oh, well, you know. You guys have seen me miss enough stuff where that ain't surprising. Okay, there's our kitchen right off the bat. Now, if we take the kitchen here, it's kind of a little inconvenient for us to draft the rest of the house. But there is that passageway up there, and we have 6 coins. So we just take the kitchen, right? It's just we only have the 8 coins, but we'll get to buy 4 bananas. Maybe there's apples for sale. It's usually bananas, though. I think we just take the kitchen. The wine cellar, gosh, we do need gems as well. This is a little bit of a problem. The workshop does not cost gems. The workshop does not cost gems. So let's just take the steps here. Let's get the kitchen. Because that's ultimately the only real thing that I'm aiming for the rest of today is just to make sure, do our darndest to get our hands. Wait a minute. There's a, what? There's a chef's salad? There is a third lunch dish? How have we never seen a chef's salad before? This must be really rare. It must be rare because we've only seen bacon and eggs and tomato soup. Am I crazy? Oh my god. Okay. How many green rooms do we have? I gotta check the map now. We have a secret garden. We have a veranda. We have a courtyard. We have a solarium. We have an aquarium. We just got so many steps. What the fuck? That is are you kidding me? Chef salad. Bro. What? What? I'll get the banana as well, because 3 coins. I don't think it's not super likely that without the vault, I'm not going to buy books today. So 2 coins or 3 coins. Yeah, 2 coins is not going to make a difference toward that objective. So there we go. Okay, and then the main course is porterhouse. If we have a showroom, we get extra 10 steps. What the? There's a third lunch dish, guys. The layers of discovery in this game, like that's just a small little thing, but it's still... Oh, that's right. I remember now. We can fill the watering can. That's another interaction we learned about. We can fill up the watering can. Okay. All right. There's dog food over here as well. I want to find... Where's the doggo? To feed him the dog food. The kennel. That's where the dogs are. We gotta add the kennel to our draft pool. We have steps now, guys. Holy shit. Okay, let's go to the boiler room at the very least, and then I guess we just draft from the foundation. We just start working our way through the rest of the house because we have 6 keys and a key card and fucking steps now. We just need gems. So can I get a reroll on that wine cellar, please? We'll just see how much brain power I have. That's the only problem here. So we're gonna try to simplify our thinking as much as possible. Because do I even want to check the emails here? Like, I know there are emails to check, but the laboratory is also common. I think we're gonna save that for another day because I need to, we're gonna keep going here. We're gonna keep drafting and we'll get back to that when and if we get back to it. Let's draft out of the foundation though. I don't know if it matters. No, it does matter where we put the elevator, doesn't it? Because that's the thing I am noticing here, is that there's no elevator call. This is not Dark Souls. You don't just get to call the elevator back up. You have to write it up. Oh shit, that's a wrinkle there that I hadn't considered. But it is like I thought, I think, or it's going to be like I thought, if you have a key card, if you manage to like call it a day in a break room, you could start your draft from the foundation. Probably every door is going to be locked, but you could do it. You might want to do it. What the fuck is this game? We don't really need keys. We just kind of need doors to go through. So I think I just take the gift shop here. I don't want to spend my last gem on a garage that just goes back outside. I already spent my gold at the, I already spent it at, what am I saying? I already spent it at the thing. I'm going to take the gift shop here. There's nothing to buy at the gift shop. The shrine, that's what I was thinking of. There's nothing to buy here, but this is just an elbow that lets us keep going. Like, I don't know. We could take a Geist bedroom. Maybe I should take a Geist bedroom and just get, like, the dice. Because then we can re-roll at the passageway and stuff like that. But as many times as I get to draft northward is kind of what I want, because I want to be able to draft a workshop. That's ultimately what I want. But I don't have to be going northward for that. Why am I thinking that? It's just that I know I have a compass, that's why. So the compass makes a workshop more likely when you're actually drafting northward. or I suppose southward, maybe? I don't know how that works. I'm gonna not overthink it here, and I'm just gonna take the gift shop. I can't overthink. I can't spend the brain power. I just have to keep drafting. Just keep drafting. There's nothing to buy here, right? Unless they patched in something that I didn't realize. But otherwise, everything is sold out. So we just keep on drafting. We use keys. We got 6 of them. It's fine. Just keep going. Oh, there's a drafting studio, but I can't afford it. No. Compass, what are you doing to me? I do have a compass, don't I? I know, it's like, it gave us a drafting studio. It did it. It did what I wanted. Here's your northward. Here's your straight through room. God damn it. This is why we need a wine cellar. All right, lost and found it is, I guess, because we can only take one. Rotate it. Can't rotate it. All right, are we gonna go in the lost and found? I see a hall pass. That is not worth going in the lost and found for. What else is there? Who knows? Oh, a telescope. I can see it. So we can see the 2 items there. That's very convenient how they've done that. I think that those 2 items were here the first time on this table to the left. I don't know if they're always there, but it's so nice being able to just look in lost and found and get a view of 2 items that you don't really, in this case, you don't really want to go for because you lose your other shit that's more valuable, like the gear wrench. Okay, all right, so we go to draft out of the passageway. Nothing else to do. The only question, there's always, there comes a point sometimes in a draft where I'm like, I love all the layers of decision making, but sometimes there's too much. Sometimes there's too much, because right now, do I activate the boiler room? Do I activate the power to send through the passageway? I think the answer is no, because we want a workshop. I just want a workshop. That's all I want. I'm not going to overthink this. We're not shipping power anywhere. I don't need anything but a workshop. That's it. It's my one true love. So I think northward. We're going northward. All right, we'll take a break room here. We'll take a break room. It gets us more keys, and it also gives us a way to get a key card for tomorrow if we want. I guess we do that. Now, if we took the dark room, we could go back and light up our path using the boiler room. But, I don't know. I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, guys. I don't want to do it. Now, the thing I could do... actually, the thing I will do... I'll take the break room, but I'll rotate it. That makes that decision so much easier, because now... Yeah, this is how we get more chances at the workshop. Okay, I'm glad I thought about that. Break room it is. We don't need those keys right this second, so we're going to go back this way, and we're going to see if maybe they'll give us a dining room in this direction, or do we really want... How do we want to order this? Is there any... I'm just going to finish off the east wing here. We're going to finish off the... yeah. If I get a wine cellar, I want it to go over here. That's the thing, right? So wine cellar, we would want our dead end to be in this direction, I think. So let's go this direction first. There's a locksmith, but we really just need a parlor. I forgot the parlor was in the pool. Holy crap. And we get to rotate it. That's amazing. That's perfect. Jesus Christ. Parlor right on time. How did we go this whole draft without getting a parlor? That's just ridiculous. Okay. This draft. These drafts, this game. The game just doesn't let you go. All 3 statements are false. We know that is automatically false. 2 statements are false. That may or may not be true, right? We know at least 1 is false. So that this could be true, this could be false. What about this one? The gems are in a box with a false statement. Okay, so there's at least 1 false statement, which is this one. Okay, so that means what? It means that if this statement was false, 2 statements are false, that would mean that only 1 statement can be false, because we know 3 statements can't be false. So if one statement was false, if this is true, no, wait a second. What am I thinking here? I'm presuming that this is false, right? But then of course, this is a contradiction, right? Because all three statements cannot be false, right? So we know that this one has to be. If we presume that the statement on this box is false, that means that two statements are true. But that's a contradiction because this statement, two statements are false, would be true, but only if we presume that this is a false box. Did I do that right? I think that means that this has to be true, which means that this statement is false. So there are two false statements, but the gems are not in a box with a false statement. So they're in the white box. That makes sense to me, right? I think that's how we roll. That's how we roll here, because that's the only thing that can happen. I hope my logic works, because my brain is about to shut off, because it's getting twisted in so many different fucking, like, we're just, there's so many different ideas about safe codes, and now we have email logs that we have to access, and how am I ever going to figure this game out? I'm hope... Am I going to have a panic attack or something here? This is a chance to workshop. It's not a workshop, though. It's a showroom. I don't want a showroom here because I don't want to spend gems on stuff that I can't buy. And I don't want to go, like, this could get me one more shot at a workshop going into the antechamber if we get an elbow that goes around and stuff like that. So, okay, the casino does get us coins. It does get us 15 coins. Is that a good enough reason to take the casino? Because we do have the bookshop, but I think the cheapest book in the bookshop is 20 coins. Or do we just take the Geist bedroom and make these decisions, these future decisions, a little bit easier because we'll actually have dice to reroll when we get shit? I think I hold on to my gems. I think I take the Geist bedroom. We have the only thing we're passing up on here is the, you know, drafting to the antechamber from 9-1, drafting 9-2 from 9-1 could be a straight through room and it could be a workshop. We'd be passing up on that opportunity. I think that is justified by the fact that we get 2 rerolls so that anything that we do in the rest of the house gets us more chances at a workshop. Let's take the Geist bedroom. It's also 2 less rooms that I have to deliberate over drafting. Which at this point is what I need. Because this is the brain dead draft at this point, everyone. The Akinar brain has left the building. Hi, Geist. Okay, let's go to the passageway. Passageway. If I can help it here, I'd rather not draft out of the break room. Because I want to get a 3-way room. I mean, if I get a workshop from the passageway, like, I just want to workshop at any point, no matter what. But if we don't get a 3... God damn it. I would like to get a 3-way room that gets me over to this door here, or 7-4, and then an elbow there. What I want to be able to draft upward twice to get workshops. That's what I want. I want chances at workshops. I think this is one of my rerolls. I think this is one of my rerolls here. They did give us a laundry room, motherfucker. This duct system sometimes. I don't think it's a clock tower, but we do have a break room and a coat check now. So a clock tower is more in consideration. I just think this is what dice are for. When you're not satisfied, we can do better than this. And I believe that we will do better than this. There's no way this can go wrong. Dice, don't fail me now. We did get a straight through room. We did get a straight through room, but we did get... we do get a boudoir if we want it, but I think I'd take a spare bedroom here. I mean, I want to try 1225. I do want to try 1225 and Man. What do we do? What do we do? Why am I not able to rotate, by the way? Why did I lose my ornate compass or something? Why did my ornate compass not, why is it not showing up here? I could rotate the boudoir, could I not? Okay, let's take the boudoir. Let's take it. We don't quite, like, I just don't want to spend my last reroll on trying to go for a T-shaped room here, which could be the dark room. Like, that's the thing I didn't think about. Maybe maybe that would have been better not to use my die anyway, because they could give us the dark room, and that would be crappy. So we take the boudoir, even though it makes things a little awkward here, but then we at least get a chance at the workshop from the boudoir, and we get to try my wild idea, right? My wild idea here, first of all, we'll recheck this safe, or we'll recheck this photo, because I wondered if there was ever a chance that we could see, like, the combination to the safe actually on this photo somewhere. I don't think that's the case. Is there any other detail that I might have missed? I feel like I looked at this with the magnifying glass once before, but I don't think you need to look at it with the magnifying glass, because the real point is that this is Christmas Day. That's the point of the photo, right? Right? Please let something go right for me for once. Please let something happen. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. There it is. Our second red letter and our second red ruby. I'm not close enough. I gotta stand a little closer to pick up letter number 4. Wow. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. How many pages we got? 3 pages. Let's go through this. Muster the brain power to go through red letter number 2. Herbert. I was distraught to learn. It's number 4. I know. It's our second red letter. It's our number 2. Cat laser brain. Herbert. I was distraught to learn that you've chosen to omit the details of our dear Marion's disappearance from the public record. It was no surprise to me. It is no surprise to me that the royal court would want this embarrassment kept as quiet as possible, but I'm shocked that you have so little regard for your niece that you would play the king's scullion and stoop to kissing the foot that treads upon her memory. God damn. She gave up her family, her fortune, and her life, and all you can do is think of your name. I wonder if this is this written by Lady Epson? Having never had a family name nor fortune of my own, I cannot personally condemn you for faltering in your commitment to make the same sacrifices she did. But for the love of God, do not, by that same display of weakness, clutch your petty assets so tightly that you undermine the case that she forfeited everything to further. Our countrymen must be made aware of the price she paid and must be made to see the color of the flag she flew as she rode into the darkness of 100 nights. To deny her story is to deny her life. If through your silence you bless this betrayal, our son, Simon, your heir, will inherit a fortune of lies and will spit upon your grave when he learns of your cursed foolishness. Needless to say, we will not be coming for Christmas this year. Daniel. Oh shit. It's our dad. It's our dad. Everybody is pissed at Herbert and the way that he was involved in our mother's disappearance. I say everyone. The 2 red letters that we found so far. Who wrote the first one? Courtney? As per usual, not seeing any invisible ink or anything like that. But, man. The color of the flag she flew as she rode into the darkness of 100 nights. The black flag, I would presume. To deny her story is to deny her life. So in order to preserve his assets or his name or his reputation in the eyes of the public in Fen Aries or the crown, He accuses him of being the king's scullion. King, what was his name? Not Tristan. Triskel? Criskel? I have to look at my notes again here, but man. Okay, all right. We're not going to fully absorb that right now, but that is huge. Okay, cool. So friggin' huge, because now that's another gem that we're automatically going to be picking up when we get the boudoir, which is awesome. And there's our second red letter that we've collected. Okay, 2 safes. Oh my God, not 2 safes. Well, no, yeah, we had the time lock safe in the shelter. So we've got the safe here in the house. Is that what oh, if we count small gates, let me look at my notes here again. The stuff that we've needed, we've got the boudoir. Yes, can cross that off the list. But we also need the office, the drawing room, the study, the drafting studio has the miniature safe. There is also the underpass, but I'm not sure if we're counting that because that's a character lock. So that's not a date that we're looking for. But we had the orchard fence door, which I thought that was the small gate, and maybe it still is. That makes 6 if we count those rooms: office, drawing room, study, drafting studio, boudoir, and fence door at the orchard. But we also have the shelter, which is number 7. And theoretically, there's an 8th safe that maybe has... But the orchard did not have a red letter. But the orchard did have... Let me look again here in the safe. The orchard did have the little gem stand. That gem stand was there in the orchard, but not a red letter. Shit. This game is nuts. Okay, if this is a workshop here, I will take it, even if it means that our draft is over. Workshop, go. Okay, I guess we take a security room. We still have, you know, the chance to get the workshop out through that door. And yeah, the draft keeps going. We don't have the bottom antechamber door open, but it's interesting that, I hadn't thought about this, but both the left and right antechamber doors are open. Does that mean, could we draft from the eastern side of the antechamber? We walk through and we draft out to the west? Is that a possibility? I never even thought of the possibility of drafting from the antechamber. Like, is that even an achievement on its own? Okay. But I think we'll take security here as opposed to re-rolling for a workshop. Would I ever do that? Because if I'm re-rolling, maybe this is my chance to re-roll for a workshop. Am I this desperate? We have a solarium. It's more likely that a workshop shows up, right? And when you have a compass, it feels like it's going to be less likely to get the workshop out of the right from security or going down from security. But I'm not totally sure the ins and outs of the compass. Like, we're at a point here where we could take this last stab at a workshop, and then I think we could turn around and run back to the coat check. That would take us how many steps? It'd be like 12, 13 steps, something like that. And then I think we would just barely have enough steps to go there and come back to the break room and call it a day in order to get ourselves a security card to start tomorrow. I feel like that's what we do, because we just have this gear wrench and this is what we want to do with it, right? Now, at the same time, I could make the security room more common, but it's already standard rarity, right? Which is the same as the boiler room now. The laboratory is at common. Would we ever want to just set the security room to common? Because then that makes the laboratory that much more common. Or I guess the office for that matter. There is also that idea. I had forgot. I don't know if we had the security room yesterday, but I had forgot there was a thing I wanted to check in the security room regarding, like, what was the thing? It had to do with, like, the note from the safe house talking about delete it. There was that sketch in the safe house that looked like it had a bunch of screens. The more I think about it, we're actually going to take security here, and we are going to make it more common, question mark. The thing is, if we are coat checking the gear wrench, then presumably we would be able to undo this later if we don't like how this feels. But the security room is still useful enough in just the fact that it lets you manipulate the whole security door situation. So taking this here is actually fine. I totally forgot that it triggers our experiment. So that's cool because we have the buff from the shrine. So, okay, let's turn that to commonplace as well. I think that we'll see if we regret that. But okay, cool. One way or the other, we have enough steps to make it to the coat check. I don't know for sure that we're going to be able to make it back to the break room, but that's okay. At the very least, I want to make it to the coat check. That, above all else, needs to happen. Now, okay. If I look at my notes from the... Let me go to... I need to pull up another Google Doc here to look at my notes for outside of the house. The safe house. The safe house had delete it. Let me look at this picture again. Delete it. The alt-tabbing brings up the... This is the same number of screens. It's talking about the security room. And it has the archives. So there's a note. There's a note in the safe house that says, delete it. And it's talking about the archives. It has the letter A. Delete it. What does that mean? Does it have anything to do with security footage? Because now we've got this idea that supposedly there could be security footage that we might need to delete if we get the correct admin key. Gosh, what the fuck, man? This game is nuts. Okay, are we doing anything with the terminal here? I mean, I guess there might be security door. We would turn this up to high because we have a key card, I guess. So sure, just do that little formality here. Look at the inventory as well. There's a hall pass and a telescope. We know where those are in the lost and found. There's a trunk, and there's still 18 coins. 18 coins. But those are all up in this east wing, which we would be going to if we get to the coat check. So we might get those 18 coins. We'll see. With 2 keys left and the security settings set to high, we should be good to go. If we want to draft every single room left in the house, there's no reason, I don't think, to set the offline mode. We can leave that. No, I guess we set the offline mode to unlocked because that requires, making them offline requires setting the... It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters because we need the utility closet. I'm not going to draft the utility closet at this point. So the only way to go is out here through, it's the last door that we've got left, is out through security. So we do it. 4 gems, so we can buy... God damn it, freaking utility closet. I mean, this is one of our only chances at a straight through room, but we could go ahead and re-roll here. Either we re-roll to try to get a workshop, or to get a 3-way room, right? A 3-way room. It might also give us like the archives. But the archives might be interesting to get because how does the whole delete it thing mean? What are they talking about deleting? It feels like they want to delete the security footage from... Could they have been forging our mom's birth certificate? Okay, hold that thought. Cat laser brain's getting distracted. What do we do here? I feel like this is a re-roll for a T-shaped room. If I'm not doing that, I'm rotating to point the bedroom in this direction because that would give us another shot at a workshop. And then that's pretty much it. But I'm also curious about this possibility of drafting through the antechamber over to the western side. Like, could we do that? Ultimately, I think I just redraw for a... The thing is, with the security room here and the duct system, I could get a dark room. Wouldn't love that. On the other hand, the bedroom is kind of cool because it would allow us to draft that room below without costing us steps. And I think right now we have like just barely enough steps to make it to the coat check and back to the break room. So I think I will do that, actually. I'm curious to see what that would be like going through the antechamber, but I'm not that curious. So I'm going to do the bedroom here because it gives us that one last shot at a workshop. We get to use our die on the next room, and that's what we would do. That's what we would do. So we go because it's free. The bedroom be free. At some point, Baron's Bafflers, we need to go back to. There is a date on this, by the way. April 6th. Oh, God. Is there... oh, is it possible that we need to solve the Baron's Bafflers in order to get the dates for our safes? I don't know. I do not know. Okay. I mean, this is the last room that we're drafting, so this is... we want to reroll here, right? That's what we do. We reroll because there's nothing else to do. Redraw. Redraw. We got the vault. We got the vault. Holy fuck. We got it. Okay. That lets us bank a book from the bookshop. What the fuck? Okay. Time to do some math here, because can we make it to the bookshop and the coat check? Can we do both of these things? Because if not, I would just take the sauna and give myself the steps tomorrow. So let's figure out if it's worth taking the vault. I hope it is. We're in the bedroom right now with 28 steps. We go into the vault and we go down to 27. We come back into the bedroom. Basically, we're coming back to the bedroom with 28 steps no matter what. This is the nice thing about the bedroom is that you get to go. You basically can go back and forth between whatever room you're connected to for free. So because we took the bedroom, we do actually get, well, let's see, from coat check. Let me just count this here. So from the vault, you don't count the bedroom because it's net 0. From the vault to the coat check. Actually, what's better? Well, let's count both. From the vault to the coat check is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's what I counted before. To the bookshop from the vault is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes the same path. Let me count this again. My brain, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just like, I'm so glad this is the end of the draft because I'm done. I'm cooked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's just slightly more to get to the bookshop. From the coat check, though, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, no, I miscounted. The bookshop is actually way farther away because we can't go directly through the library. We have to go down to the entrance hall. Shit. And I can't use the foundation elevator. The foundation elevator doesn't help me here. So I think we just take the sauna in that case, and we do the coat check plus the break room. I don't think we can get... I'd love to get that extra book from the bookshop, but we still have the book that we ordered that we have to read first, so we can save our gold, hopefully for... well, we're going to get our gold from our allowance that hopefully we will put forward to a book on a different day that we're not applying a shrine buff. So yeah, we take the sauna. We take that sauna and don't need to step inside, right? We just get the sauna effect. But even if we did need to step inside... wait a minute, there's a gem there? I think I can do this for free, right? There's actually a gem in the sauna. What the fuck? Okay, so the sauna can just have free shit sometimes. So, worth? Not like it's going to be worth today. It's not going to be worth anything today, but we got it. There we go. We have the magnifying glass. Is there anything last minute here? Because now we're at the point in the draft where... let me think about this. If we're going back through... we are going back through the laboratory. So maybe now I will take the time to read the email and just catalog that. So let's do that. I'm so glad at least we got the safe open in the boudoir. That feels so nice. So nice to get that done. Now, I did not think about the kitchen. Does the kitchen change the math at all here? Well, oh, fuck. The kitchen could have changed the math, guys. I might have screwed up. Maybe I should have taken the vault, because then I would have actually been able to go back to the kitchen, but this is why my brain is dead. I can't think through all of these angles and actually hope to get somewhere. Who knows? I might not have even made it back to the kitchen. I'm too tired at this point. Too tired to even know. All I know is that I'm going to the laboratory because I have to go to the laboratory to get to the coat check. And so because we do that, we will check the email, which apparently now, I guess if we have to log into the network to do it. Although now, supposedly, we'll be logged into the network for a month because of that other setting we changed. And we don't have to even deal with our 9600 baud modem. I'm gonna miss our modem. Look at it. There's email here. Holy crap. Okay, we know these go in the oldest date is at the bottom. So let's start with the oldest here. From the subject is freezer access. Oh my god. From Chef DeCamp to Randolph, April 8th, 1987. As I know, you've been conducting temperature-related experiments this past week. I've tried my best to avoid accessing my frozen stock during your normal working hours. However, on Friday, I was making my famous black truffle pizza and had to visit the freezer for a few ingredients. I hope I didn't mess anything up. Okay, I don't think that in particular tells us anything other than reminds us that the freezer can be kind of interacted with in terms of temperature. There's another one, replying to Chef DeCamp, April 5th. Chef, please don't worry too much about freezer access. The experiments we're doing aren't very sensitive, and they're already accounting for normal variations due to expected use and staff traffic. However, shit, I forgot to check the email in the, but I can do it from here. I forgot to check the email in security. Okay, hold on. Oh my god, this game. However, surprisingly, we did see a major temperature rise on Friday, which I believe may be related, not to your freezer visit, but to the use of the furnace in close proximity. They're cluing us in here to what we know from the drafting strategy. It's cool. The game does give you like multiple avenues to key pieces of information. So, you know, you don't have to just thread the needle in one particular direction. And if you never get all those angles to line up just precisely, there's a second way to get your hands on this information. In the future, you should try to draft that a bit further away, as the temperature rise from drafting that room has a major effect on temperature in the house, and even more so in rooms in close proximity to it. Wow, so could it affect the freezer even if it was like far away? They're not telling us exactly how close it has to be. We got to experiment with that at some point. And that's maybe a reason to have the boiler room as common as, maybe we should have set the boiler room to commonplace, just to say, hey, this is going to make sure you have a freezer more often, a furnace, I should say. And then when you have that furnace, you're also going to have a freezer when it shows up. Getting them both in the same house on the same day. An email to Baron Sinclair, subject precautions, August 27th, 1987. As we discussed in our meeting earlier this week, we will be sealing off the entrance to the Blackbridge server this week, as well as archiving all our electronic mailboxes and locking access. I'm not sure just how tech savvy we expect the Red Guard to be, but there's more than enough data on our servers that these extra precautions are, in my opinion, the very minimum measures that we should be considering given the likelihood of an investigation next month. Randolph. So they were probably, you know, things like our mother's disappearance, the intel surrounding those events needed to be safeguarded. And then the reply from Herbert on August 31st, lock it down. Lock it all down. He said, yeah, do as much as you need. Get her done. Okay. So those are the emails from the lab, which didn't shed a ton of light on things, but you know, maybe there's still some clues there that my brain isn't picking up on just yet. Now, I am aware, or I think if we use the remote access, we can now go to security and we can access the email there as well. Except I think, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this the way I think. No, unless I log into network from, I'm like logged into the network and then logged in again. This is terminalception here. So does this show me? No, it goes back to the email from the laboratory. I think, now here's the thing. We are coming back Oh, but we're gonna be, okay, we'll have security's common now. It's fine. We'll do the email from security another day, but I think I'm gonna have just short on steps, just short of the steps that I need to check both security and make it to the break room. I don't think I could do it there. So we go to the coat check instead. Yeah, there's coins in places here like the veranda, but we're not gonna be able to make use of those, unfortunately. Probably some coins here in the secret garden as well. But it's just not worth looking for, right? Maybe up in servants' quarters. That's probably where the rest of the coins are. We can't do it. We don't have the steps. We got to just check our gear wrench, and that's all there is to it. Glad I did. So now we'll take our chances again on another day with that workshop. One of these days. Yeah, I am just barely going to have enough steps here as long as I don't take the wrong turn. I need to just kind of zigzag here, but I will, I think, be able to make it back to the key card room. We'll just take one more look around the lab. See, was there anything here? Any stuff in a trash can or something else that I've overlooked? What the fuck, man? We know about this cooler or the freezer. We know at some point we need to make things happen. Oh, are they saying that the cooler, the cooler inside of the freezer is unaffected by the complete thaw? Is that what they're trying to point out? Because there's the freezer itself, but yeah, the cooler inside of the freezer. Why would that be important? We have that note already, though. The cooler is unaffected. We do know that. It might come into relevance when we actually get to draft a furnace and a freezer together. Hopefully that won't take us forever. But what we will do is we will wrap up this installment of Blueprints. As always, thank you all for watching to the end of the video. This draft has been a little bit off of the, you know, my brain sometimes just has one of those days where it's not fully there, but we at least cobbled together enough to, I don't think we got a new room. No new rooms today. And we are going to be, we at least opened a boudoir safe. We can say that much. Goddamn. And we're going to have a key card for tomorrow. We also activated the foundation elevator, which is down in the basement. So it's kind of weird though that you can't call the foundation elevator up to the up into the room that's in the house, unless maybe you can do that with the controls that are behind the foundation room. Maybe if you get another, maybe that's the reason, or would be a reason to draft another door that faces the back wall of the foundation, because maybe that can bring the elevator back up. Maybe. It still is not fully clear to me how we're fully going to utilize and get value out of this foundation elevator, but it's really just a shortcut to the sanctum, right? That ultimately is like, hey, you've done your draft now, and guess what? Instead of having to run all the way to the entrance hall and then out to the freaking sealed entrance and all that, all those shenanigans, you could just save yourself a trip and go down this way. Except the elevator has to be in the right spot, doesn't it? Did I make a mistake by leaving it down underground? I don't know. I don't know. Ultimately, I think I did need the steps, right? Because we only had 2 left. And the way that things played out for us today, we managed to get a sauna, and we'll have a key card for tomorrow. We did bank the shrine as well. I'm super excited to do this, especially now that mechanical rooms are going to be more common, or at least the ones that we turned down, like the laboratory and the security room and the boiler room. We got usage out of that gear wrench finally. So things are happening. Things are coming together. We got our garden shopping center of tomorrow. And yeah, wait, 4 tomorrow rooms. 4 tomorrow rooms? Break room, coat check. We sauna. What was the 4th? What was the 4th? I must be completely blind here. I do not know what the 4th tomorrow room was. Does the shrine count as that's not a tomorrow room? What's the 4th tomorrow room here? I must be completely blind. Okay, well, maybe it's the foundation. Does the foundation just count as a tomorrow room because it never changes? Don't tell me that for sure. As per usual, do not tell me. But yeah, man, This game is too much for me sometimes. I'm just freaking overwhelmed, but also jazzed to start a new day, which we will do next time with day 23. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.